They try to drown me. I can swim upstream so profoundly. I can stay calm in a dire situation. I'm at it every day, no time for a vacation. And I smell blood in the water. Everything I do, yeah, I do it for my daughters. Now I'm gonna shut your lips. It's time for a brand new episode of what? We talking jit, say what? We talking jit, say what? We talking jit, say what? We talking jit, said it's time for a brand new episode of Talking Jit.
We'll just pick up where we were talking before we started recording. What's going on, guys? I'm Scotty Davis, and this is my buddy Kevin Acai. He's my boy, has been for a long time, and we were just talking about just the state of, well, we were talking about that mass shooting that happened again today, which is just wild, man. It's like every friggin' day. And I remember Columbine, dude. I'll never forget that, obviously. But, okay, Vegas shooting leaves 3 people dead. And one in critical condition after a suspect went on a 40-minute rampage across the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, before being shot dead by cops. And I just looked at Kevin and I was like, dude, what the hell is going on? And he's just like, it's mental health. And you know what? Yeah, it's. I think it's a combination of a lot of different shit. But I think mental health and maybe, let's stricken up the friggin' gun laws a little bit. We don't have to. I'm not saying take the weapons or that bullshit that everybody gets all bent out of shape over. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. Let's help people's heads, and then maybe tighten up. How easy it is to get your hands on some of this stuff. Because honestly, I do know some people that have some of these guns and weapons that I'm kind of suspect about myself. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think if I was in charge of you getting that weapon, people I got in my mind, that I know personally, I'd be like, no. It's a bad idea. Why don't we start with a squirt gun? You know what I mean? We'll work our way up. So I don't know. But I don't know what the answer is. I don't have the answer. But obviously, we can't just keep fucking walking in a circle chasing our damn tail going, just the way it is. No, it's not the way it is. It's the way it shouldn't be. Every freaking 4 or 5 days, somebody else gets shot in this country because somebody pulls out a gun and just goes ape shit in a fucking parking lot.
I don't feel like we're focusing on the solution.
We're not.
I think
we're not.
It feels like we're put in the middle of 2 parties fighting for control over stuff rather than fighting for solutions for us.
Yeah.
It almost feels like that nowadays with how polarized we are.
Oh, it is. And that's the thing. That what sucks is they've done such a good job, and whoever they are, you know who they are. Everybody, the media, the freaking social media, everything you read and consume, especially now with algorithms, it's all, dude, they're dialed into you. So whatever feeds that dopamine rush of yours, like, let's argue. The algorithm goes, perfect. Here's some more shit to argue about. And it just throws it at you.
Yeah, it's almost like it pushes negativity.
Of course it does. It's a cycle, man.
Yeah.
And like the more you really think about it, how controlled are we by your device? 100%. It's the first thing you grab in the morning. It's probably the last thing you touch before you go to bed.
Yeah.
Look, you were telling me this story about your daughter, how you had to get her off the iPad, how quick it just captivated her. And she became addicted and didn't even want to freaking eat.
Yeah. It I can get into that too.
Get into that. We'll come back to guns. I mean, everybody knows guns suck, and it just, you know what I mean? Like trying to find an answer to all this shit.
Right.
It's hard. But something's got to be done. And
well, just like that. It's like they almost keep us in this like cycle. It feels like a loop.
Just a loop. Yeah.
I noticed it with my daughter going back to that stuff, but to tie it all together, I mean, it started out as like we're driving her places. She didn't like the car. So we put the iPad up.
Yeah.
And then it turned into like, okay, we're getting out of the car. She's crying. Well, we'll give her the iPad, chill her out for a little bit. Then it turned into like we put the iPad in front of her while she's eating. And the iPad's on a stand in the middle of the table. Then it turns into the iPad is in front of her food at the table. Then it turns into she is constantly walking around the house holding the iPad with her head. And, I've got neck issues, so it's the first thing my head goes to is like her neck is like looking straight down.
Already.
And
that's becoming a huge problem in America. Look at everybody's necks. Everybody's looking down. Everybody's got a hunched neck.
Right. And
everybody.
And she's still 2-year-old.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
yeah.
She's gonna grow into that. So then, dude, I remember watching her on the couch. It would get to the point to where she wanted what she wanted on TV and had the iPad.
Oh man.
But I mean, luckily we had like a discussion. She was always really good at like we didn't lose the handle yet. Like I could still be like, let's go outside, or hey, you want to go for a walk? And she would put it down and go out. It wasn't like we have to take it. We didn't take it to restaurants, but it was getting there. Like, and I feel like a lot of parents will just take it. It's easy.
I was gonna say it's because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's super easy, and I see it all the time, and it just makes me go, poor kid.
But I mean,
Ugh, poor kid.
But yeah, and to tie it all together, I think stuff like that ties into the mental handicap of like people aren't able to function in society anymore. Society is online. And when you're online, it's the best of people are posting. Nobody posts their shitty day.
No, because nobody
right?
wants to read anybody's shitty day. Because if somebody writes shitty stuff on Facebook or Instagram, what's everybody say about their page? Why is blah, 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 they put their life out there?
I was tired of them bitching, yeah.
Right, but if they put a picture of their brand new car they just spent 3 hours waxing and using a toothbrush to clean the goddamn, the spokes of the freaking rims, everybody's like, wow, what blessed life.
Or they post 20 pictures and they pick the best angle, the best one they got.
Yep.
I mean, how many times are you walking down the street and you see some girl fluffing her hair before she's about to take a selfie?
All the time, dude. How many times have you seen me take a selfie and do that? You've seen me take pictures. I'm like, wrong angle, Kev.
Start perming the beard.
Yeah. I'm that way. I've become that way because that's the world where, especially for what I do for a living. I try not to be affected like that.
Right.
But every time I try to go, well, I'm not going to do this. And then I do it. And then I go, well, here's the thing. If I'm going to put something up on Instagram that represents me, I'm sure as hell not going to put up a bad picture. But I do have a rule. I'm not photoshopping my shit, okay? I'm not photoshopping my abs. I'm not photoshopping wrinkles on my face. Screw that. Whatever wrinkles I have on my face, I'm almost a 50-year-old man. I have fucking earned them.
I knew it was almost game over when they came out with filters.
Oh, bro, it's a lie.
When they started just like putting the filters right there at the very bottom and you had like the first basic 5, I knew we were fucked.
I'm telling you, man, they've got ones that make me look like, they got ones that make my freckles disappear. Gone. Just like, whoa.
Yeah, dude. Like
that's wild. That's why I look like with no freckles. That's awesome.
My girl's dad, for Halloween, he had the phone with that new AI feature.
Oh, yeah.
Where you can take like 5 pictures and it picks the best smile out of every picture and makes it into one picture. So like if someone's looking away for a picture, well, it'll grab the one where they're looking at the picture and stamp it on. And then so it's not even the real picture. And I get the gist of like, oh man, we're all perfect. It's a problem. You're always like, someone's always looking away. But it's not fucking real, dude.
No, and that's the thing. We're starting to go.
Reality is disappearing.
Yeah, that's the thing. And
that's not helping.
When you try to have a conversation with somebody at a certain age and down in society now, like a normal interaction, you hold the door open for somebody. How many people have you seen walk by you with their face in their phone, don't even know the door was held open for them?
Yeah, they don't.
They just think it was just air. They're like, holy shit, well, that's weird. I guess I can walk through shit now. They don't know because they're not paying attention. But I'm just saying it's hard to conversate with them. Because I went to Michael's the other night. By accident. No.
It's okay.
Now Steph called. Just as I got done with the show. Hang on a second. I got a cough. No, Steph called me. Just I got done with the show. And she's like, hey, can you swing by Michael's and get a couple things? I was like, yeah. She's like, just pick up order. I'm like, yeah, no problem. But there was. Because it's about 10 till closing. Okay? There were 2 employees in that entire store. You know how big Michael's is?
Right.
Do you know how many hiding places there are in there for weirdos and shit? So I come walking in, and it happened to be that real cold day about a week and a half ago. I mean cold. Where it started getting like 40-ishes at like...
Florida cold.
Yeah, Florida cold. At like 7 at night. So this is like almost 10. So I've got I got all the big pants on and a hoodie pulled up with a pea coat over it. Full sailor pea coat and a toboggan, and I'm just all bundled up like just a complete wuss. And I come walking in this store with this big beard, and there's these 2 girls working. Well, they're terrified. They think I'm there to rob the place. I don't look like somebody's coming in to pick up fake snow. I don't. So I try to disarm them because I get this vibe. I'm like, oh, God, the way they look. They snapped around. I started. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm just here to pick up something for my wife. She's into crafts. No, she's not. But I was trying to disarm them. And the woman was like, I think I know what you're looking for. And she went back. Okay. The younger girl was standing behind the counter, and I was in that awkward. I feel like I should say something, like make conversation, because she's just kind of standing there, kind of looking down, kind of feeling. I felt like she felt awkward, and I don't like it when other people feel awkward around me, and I feel like it's me. It's probably not. It's
You're just trying to break the ice.
Yeah, and I go.
Your face right now, too.
Because I couldn't resist. I go, you guys sold out of the fake snow yet? Like that, deadpan. And she, as soon as she looked up at me, I realized, oh shit, she didn't get it. Because if I said that to you in Michael's, you'd giggle. You'd giggle. She didn't get it. She goes, you know, I'm not sure. Hang on. And she starts looking it up, and I felt bad. I'm like, no, you don't have to look it up. She's like, oh, here it is. No, there's a lot. So she says that, and I felt bad for a second, but when she goes, there's a lot, and she's already looking it up, I couldn't resist. I go, hey, just out of curiosity, how many flakes are in each bag?
How many flakes are
And she looked. She couldn't find it. And dude, it was all I could do to not piss my pants. Because I'm just like, it backfired on me because I got really uncomfortable because I wanted to laugh so hard. But I also wanted to go, hey, this is what happens when you don't talk to people. You don't learn inflections. You don't learn people like sarcasm. You don't learn people trying to fuck with you. You don't learn people laughing. You don't learn people just senses of humor. You don't learn any of that shit because all it is
actual social engagement.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what we're missing. Now, it's not everybody, dude, but you
No.
know what I'm saying.
No, but it's just declining, and I don't think that helps. I mean, I don't have the right answer for the gun thing. I like guns. I think you can't get rid of them, even if you wanted to, in my opinion. And if you are responsible enough to own one, I don't know. Like, I mean, if you're, damn, how am I supposed to put this? I think it's important you know how to operate it before you carry it. Before you got them all over. I think it's important you know the safety, responsibility, but how you got to find a way to make everyone responsible.
Right.
And then you got to find a way to make sure the people who are carrying them like are not crazy.
Well, and here's my question. You know I think the rule in Florida is like if you have your medical marijuana card,
can't have one.
It causes trouble with you getting what, an automatic or a gun?
I think, and
not an automatic, but like an AR-15 or something. You can get.
I don't think you can carry.
Okay.
If you have a medical card.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I should have looked this up. I'm just talking off the top of my head here.
Yeah. Well, we've had some of our gun laws and stuff switch around. Because we used to be like a concealed carry state.
Right.
Which I had my concealed. Mine expired though, and I didn't renew it in time. And this is why I learned it. I was going to go back to get my concealed as well as my girl, because just to carry in case, right?
Yep.
And what I learned was, I think it was back in July, they were making it to where you don't need a permit to carry. You can carry concealed carry without a permit. Now, I haven't carried illegally. I'm not,
right,
indicting myself here, but like I've talked to some of the cops at the gym, like around here and stuff, and it's legit. They're passing like to where you're allowed to carry. You don't need to go get the concealed weapon permit. Now, as far as it is, what are the rules? What is everything behind it? I'm not sure. We're a pretty open gun state here, so it's pretty much like we're kind of open range. Like you can actually trade guns and stuff here.
But you were just talking about keeping people from going crazy, and I was just saying, somebody can be kept from getting a gun or carrying or a permit or something as far as like marijuana. Let me Google it. Let me just look it up. But I'm just saying, I know there's a law because a lot of people that I brought up marijuana legalization to and stuff like that are, you got your card now, I can't get my card, I got guns. And I was like, what? They keep saying
I've heard that, but I've heard there's ways around it.
Well,
too.
maybe there is. But I'm saying that's already a deterrent.
And I could be wrong about all this because, like I said, laws have changed. They've moved stuff around a little bit.
Yeah, but you can't have a gun if you smoke weed, but like they'll put people, my point is they'll put people in all these psychologically fucking destroy
Would you
your
rather a
brain
pothead
drugs.
carry a gun or like someone on Adderall?
Oh my God, the
You know what I mean?
pothead all day. Are you kidding? All day.
Right.
I want a stoner with a gun because you know what he's doing? 9 times out of 10, using it as a paperweight while he rolls another joint. Okay?
Right.
He's chilling. He's not the type of guy who's going to be like, hey, you stole my parking space. Potheads don't do that. Okay?
Right.
That's why I love them. They don't do that. But people on Adderall, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because let me tell you, Adderall is a horrible drug. It's a terrible drug. And hey,
And
no
that's
offense.
not one of the worst ones.
No offense if you're on Adderall. Listen, I tried Adderall. I hate it. I can't do it. I won't do it. I can't do it. Completely changes my personality.
I was gonna say, did you have a bad experience? Or?
Yes. Well, every time I've tried to use it, and I've tried a lot in the past few months, and I'm done. I'm done. I don't like it. Problem with that shit is whatever mood you're in when you take it, that's the mood you're in when it kicks in, usually. And whatever you're into when it kicks in, you better be into whatever you're planning on concentrating on for the next 8 hours, because you take that, oh, crap, I forgot to take my medicine, take your Adderall, and you're out, like, doing yard work, and it kicks in, dude.
You're doing yard
You'll
work.
build a fucking golf
I
course.
was gonna say, you're down there cutting it with scissors.
Yeah.
Just
You're measuring every blade. You're like, nah, I'm not going to have this shit.
leveling out there with a level.
You know, it starts out sunny. You know, the mosquitoes are biting because it's dark. And your wife's like, are you coming in for any meal today? You know, it's like, it's wild.
I got a point.
And it makes you mean to me. It made me mean. It makes you not want to sleep. It makes you, it does everything. Does it help you concentrate? Sure. But all the side effects to get that, shit, man, smoke some sativa.
The other scary thing about all this, dude, is we're in a very polarized state right now. I feel like everyone is on. It's almost like everyone picks a side. We're like very tribal right now.
It doesn't matter if you're on Adderall. You're mad that I said that. If you're not on Adderall, you're on my team.
It's like people jump to the sides, like the
All I'm trying to do is be honest from somebody that has experienced this shit personally. And let you know there's a shit ton of pitfalls with all this dumb freaking medication. I'm not saying all of it's bad, but I'm saying a lot of times you don't find the right stuff the first time. Most people are 100% going to listen to anything their doctor says. They are not going to go from that point to research anything on their own to see what maybe possibilities are out there other than what this guy in a white coat who's ready to retire in another 6 months, who hasn't went to an updated medical, weekend seminar or any of that bullshit that they're supposed to continue their license for how many years? But yet he's giving you all the knowledge that he knows is correct up to when he graduated in 1978.
Now you got to wonder if he has financial kickback or influence. You know what I mean? And
dude, come on. Yeah. I mean, have you ever talked to anybody that sells pharmaceuticals for a living? My buddy used to do that, and my wife's cousin used to do it. And that shit's real.
Not a lot of people go to 2 doctors.
No.
Not a lot of people get that second opinion.
Hardly anybody.
I feel like I work and I'm around a lot of people who are like, oh, I've got this ongoing issue. And my doctor has me doing this now. My doctor has me doing this now. But I could speak from my neck injury. First thing they wanted to do when I went and got checked out after my accident.
I remember this.
Walked in. I'm fucked up. Yeah, well, okay, yeah. I called up my doctors. My doctor I went to every single fucking day would not take me. They didn't want to wait for the insurance to pay them. They didn't want to deal with the insurance aspect of it. And I'm like, but you're a medical professional. Like, you're my I've been going to you for 10 plus years.
Yes, but here's the thing. You've been going to them for 10 plus years, but you have never needed the workup you're about to need from them in 10 plus years. And you're looking at roughly a $5,000 workup. And they don't want to take in the butt for that. And it happens all the time. But I agree with your frustration. I've been in the same situation, and I have changed doctors because of that shit.
That was the first slap in the face where I'm like,
I'm sick, dude. I need to get this shit fixed. And you're giving me shit over a fucking level in a blood test that I want, that I'm requesting?
Yeah.
What?
So, yeah, dude.
Come on, man.
I called a couple of doctors, bro. And keep in mind, I've got a concussion.
Yeah, you were effed up.
I was effed up. So I ended up going to a walk-in clinic. And before I go in there, I call them. Like, do I need an appointment? This is what's going on. Can you guys write me an MRI? something's fucked up. They're like, yeah, we could do that. I walk in, bro. They put me on a X-ray, not an MRI, X-ray.
Which doesn't.
Then they go, here's pain pills and here's like basically strong ibuprofen. They say your neck is just super tight. It's holding your vertebrae really close together. That's where all the pain is from. Take this. I'm like, nah, something's fucked up. I know my body.
That don't make sense.
Can you write me an MRI, please? That's why I came to you. No, we can't. So I ended up getting a lawyer, and
Yeah, it was a process.
I didn't even cash in the pain pill or the whatever they gave me. I got the lawyer. All of a sudden, couldn't get a doctor for 3 days. My lawyer calls me back in 30 minutes. I got you an appointment right down here on 66th Street. Go walk in. They're waiting for you. Dude, I was treated like royalty. I walk in the door. The guy's like, hey, sit down. Checks me out. Yeah, you've got a concussion. I'm sending you out to get an MRI, and I'm giving you physical therapy.
Wow.
Well, long story short, during this whole entire process, the amount of doctors I talked to, and it's almost like it wasn't about me. Like, it wasn't about healing me. It was about, financial. Like, I don't know.
Did the word surgery come up on your neck?
Tons of times.
Mm.
And it was sold like this. Here we go. Hi, I'm a very holistic doctor. I don't believe in anything invasive. I'm not really like a pill doctor as well. Like, I want you to get better. I like to treat my patients, make sure they get better.
Mm. Everything you want to hear.
Hey, Mr. Barry, you're back, still having pain. Well, I think right now, I don't normally do this, but I'd like to suggest getting shots in your neck. Let's start with one, see how you feel.
How much were the shots? Do you know?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, because I put that shit off for fucking I put that shit off for months, bro.
Yeah.
Months. I was getting the bills. Although I was in the middle of a lawsuit, I'm getting the actual bills in the mail. It's almost like receipts. My lawyer was getting them too, but I was getting copies. I finally got talked into one shot because it's all the fucking pressure. Almost like the lawyer was like, dude, I'm not gonna.
Are you talking about a nerve shot? Is that what you're talking about? Where they go in and kill the nerves?
No,
around
no,
an
no,
injury?
no. This is like a cortisone.
Oh, okay.
Like
They fill up
yeah.
Give it a little more push.
Pretty much like injecting an anti-inflammatory into my disc. So,
which is
not
very.
So we just need
healthy.
one. Hey, Kevin, it's gonna be very hard for me to argue your case if you're not seeking attention. I'm like, well, dude, I'm doing physical therapy. I've been in here for four months. My physical therapist has charted my growth. I'm going up, I'm going down, I'm going up, I'm going down. I'm not ready to leave yet, but I am getting a little bit better. And I feel better after physical therapy than I do your doctors. So I want to continue physical therapy. Yeah, but it's just going to be really hard. Like, I really think you need to consider the shot. So I'm researching it. I'm seeing that most people online are saying it's about 50-50. Seen some people say it made them worse. Some say it made them better. Some say it didn't. And then I'm looking up, all right, is this shit in my body forever? I'm seeing, okay, well, like, your body kind of absorbs it. It takes a little bit of a while. Like, it looked to me like, from what I researched, it was going to be gone, won't be in my spinal fluid forever, whatever.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, let's go try one. That way you can argue my fucking case. We'll see if it makes me better. Dude, it made things worse. I felt like shit the next day. But leaving the office, I felt great. That's how I told the doctor. Wait, leaving the office, you felt great? I think we need to finish up the round. 2 more shots. And I think, wait, you didn't tell me it was 3 steps. No, it's a 3-step process. No, you told me 1. You guys specifically. And
boy,
I'm going on a rant.
It sounds like somebody's trying to sell you a car, brother.
Every one of them I went to.
You know what I mean?
And nobody gave a fuck to get me to the MRI except for that first doctor. He was pretty fucking cool. But for whatever reason, I couldn't continue to see him. But and the physical therapist, bro. So seeing the physical therapy side, those people were hands-on, giving you exercises, helping you build muscle, helping you.
They are tremendous.
Working,
they really are. Because I had some neighbors that did that.
My neck, bro. I didn't have to. I'm laying on a table and they're move my neck, holding the muscle, move my neck, holding the muscle. It was great. I recommend physical therapy to so many people. And now I see so many people that they go I'm going straight to shots, man. I want the easy approach. I want it to be gone tomorrow. And that gone tomorrow feeling just keeps going,
I remember how strong you were when you came back from the physical therapy. I remember how much more your strength went up when we were rolling.
You notice a difference?
Fuck yeah. Everybody did, but nobody could figure it out.
Really?
Well, because people were like, "Is Acai been lifting or whatever?" Because you weren't getting bigger. You just get stronger.
I don't get bigger.
No, I just stay this size.
Yeah.
But what you did is everything got balanced. That's what it was. Your balance, like everything from head to toe, like muscle-wise balance, strength.
So I did the
You showed me some of the shit you did. They had
Right.
him on like one of those half balance balls, and you had one of those what are those shaky
like the bow.
yeah,
thing?
what the hell is that?
I don't
But I
what
know
it's
they made
called.
you hold it with one arm
Yeah,
and
so-
squat.
So for you guys,
Fuck.
for you guys at home, I'm like, they hand me this like it almost looks like a bow without the string. So
Yep.
it's not like curved into a U. It's like a straight line, and you hold the thing in the middle and you shake it, and as you shake it, the two other sides wiggle, but it creates this shake that is hard to hold in one spot because it starts building up momentum. And I had to hold that with two knees on a yoga ball,
That's what it was.
and I had to move it from in front of my face out to the side of my body without moving my body and do that. And then I had to switch arms and to balance in the yoga ball and to hold that inertia and then keep it all under control. Every muscle's like locked in. Holding this thing.
Yeah, even your
It-
eyelids are like, ah.
I was doing pistol squats on Bosu balls.
Isn't
like
that
I
cool
was,
as hell?
lots of cool shit. Yeah.
They make you strong, dude.
But dude, yeah, it was like I was doing a lot of the shit that you would see somebody in the gym doing, like in a like a U fit or something. And you'd be like, "Guy's wasting his time."
What a loser.
Yeah, what are you doing over there? Like you're
loser.
look at that dude over in the pink weight section. Nobody uses the yoga
Oh,
section.
did I tell you? I went and worked out. I forgot to tell you this because we haven't talked since. Well, we have, but I forgot to tell you about this. So the Wednesday before Thanksgiving,
Okay.
one of the guys that works here at the radio station, Chris, he's like, Chris is like 24. It's funny. He could be my son. He's great. He's like, you remind me of my dad. I'm like, it's cool. But he works out. And he's like, we got to work out. We got to train. I was like, I'll go. Let's do it. We've been trying to do it for like a month. Well, I had Wednesday. I was off last week. I was like, dude, let's go train on Wednesday before you go out of town. Or the week of Thanksgiving. So we did. We met at Planet Fitness over like in between our two houses. So over off US 19 up here, right up here. I haven't been at Planet Fitness forever. Hardly ever. I've been at one, and this one was massive. It was really nice. Good equipment, everything. So, no hate. But when we got there, man, we walk in, and we go back to this one little room, and we're just warming up. And I got him just hanging on the bar. Like, just get up and hang on the bar, stretch everything out, get your shoulders loosened up, because we're getting ready to do shoulders and back. Or back. We're getting ready to do back, and I want him to get his shoulders loosened up. Anyway, we're hanging. All of a sudden, this dude comes in, just jacked, big. But he's got on those old, like, 80s, 90s, like, posing, like, half shorts, tight little spandex thingies.
Mhm.
But they're way up his thigh. They're old school bodybuilder pants. Like,
Okay.
shorts.
Almost like a Brazilian bathing suit.
Almost, but like
Almost
they're boy shorts. Picture
Okay.
boy shorts.
Okay.
But big old thighs and
On
just,
a boy.
yeah. And then he's wearing a big tight top and all this shit. No big deal. Whatever. Dude's there to work out. He looks like he's serious. He gets over, starts warming up, faces this, and starts doing this. Woo! Woo! Pelvic thrust, getting those hips loosened up. Got his hands all the way up in the air, just shaking, popping them. And I looked at Chris and I go, I think he's saying hi. I don't care. I just laughed. I was like, wow, man. Or he might not even know.
Like he wants.
Like he was just trying to loosen up, and that's how that man loosens up. But I don't know. If my gut, he was saying hi.
Isn't that funny when it's
He was
like
saying hi.
people are in there like super confident?
Yeah.
The gym is so good for people watching.
Oh, dude. I finally got to a point in my life, I think, where I really don't give a shit what anybody thinks. I'm over
Nice.
worrying about what anybody thinks. You helped me get there.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, the conversation we had the other night.
Oh, great.
Yeah. No, I don't care anymore. I'm there for me. And, I'm almost 50 years old, and I'll go up against you, man, 20-year-old. Come on, let's go. Let's go train.
Mhm.
You're not going to wear me out. So let's go do that. So I don't know. I kind of walk around with that little chip on my shoulder, old guy chip. But I'm not out to prove anything, dude. I just want to stay in shape. I just want to be.
Let it motivate you.
I want to. Yeah. That's the thing. When I see these young kids, just killing workouts, makes me proud. It makes me go, yes, this is the generation I'm talking about. This is what I want to see. I want to see people just grinding and killing it in there every night, even when they don't freaking feel like it.
I'd be interested to see if like gym memberships have gone down in the past.
No, I don't
generation.
think so.
No?
Well, at least not with the young people.
That's good.
I really don't think so, man, because I'm telling you, I tell everybody, I'm more proud and more motivated about like the youth of this country as far as the way a lot of these guys are like man, we've seen what our parents, our older brothers, the uncles and shit, the shit their health has become from just treating themselves like shit and not doing anything for years and years. Kids aren't doing that. They're moving, baby. You know?
We don't promote like a lot of like, you never see like a commercial for like fruit.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Or like, you know how like YouTube now has like those Zen moments that come out?
Yeah.
What if
Everything's calm. Everything's How about
have a calm moment? How about it says do fucking 5 squats?
Yeah, how about do 5 squats, have a calm moment, and then hey, here's the meal you might want to eat.
Go walk the block.
Yeah. Get off your ass.
Yeah.
Quit being so calm.
What if like, dude, with AI and the fucking cameras and TVs you don't even know about, like why don't they fucking program it to make you walk a lap around your living room?
Before you can use it again? You know why? Sick. Because they won't sell those.
$1 million?
They'll set on the fucking display at Target. And people be like, there's those TVs you got to walk to. They can change the channel. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Where's the lazy person section of TVs?
If I ever make jiu-jitsu instructional videos,
you're going to make them do that?
I'm going to make it like lock you out right before the technique.
Oh, ooh. And you got to make them do burpees.
Yeah, 5 burpees. 5
burpees. Dude. That might not sound like a big deal, but 5 burpees when you are not expecting to do 5 burpees, period.
Why do they always feel worse on the mat?
Suck.
I feel like I could like at home bust out burpees, but when you're like in the gym, you get like winded.
Let me tell you something.
Right.
I haven't been to jiu-jitsu in a minute, but I know the night I step back in there, okay? The night that my bare toe touches that mat, we're going to do 60 of them bitches to start the class because that's what fucking professor does every fucking time I show up and I haven't trained in a while.
Oh, we're doing...
Scotty, it's good to have your back. You give me a hug. Oh, yes. Everybody, Scotty's back. All right, let's start with 60 burpees.
Yeah, let's get it.
You son of a bitch.
What was
I'm
it?
throwing up before we even start.
We were doing round robins before Thanksgiving. I think it was before Thanksgiving.
If you guys don't know what round robins are, it's where like one guy's in the middle and they literally go up against like what 8, 10 people.
No, that's Shark Tank.
Oh, that's Shark Tank.
We did Shark Tank in the week before.
What's a round robin then?
So Shark Tank is where you're in the middle. Fresh guy comes in every few minutes.
Yeah.
And you're stuck in the middle until you get through all of them. Round robin is where you get 2 lines, almost like Red Rover.
Oh yeah.
And the person you're looking at is who you're gonna spar. And then after that round, you go right back to the spot you started in. And then everyone takes a step to the left.
Yeah.
So and then you go with that person, and then it's a round robin because you pretty much by the end of the circle, by the time you get from one end of the circle to the other end, you roll with almost everybody in the class. And the rule was no water, straight back to your spot. Let's roll. Let's get we kind of do that around when people holidays and like summer, like when people start getting lazy, we start making class harder, 10-minute rounds, shit like that.
I love 10-minute rounds. I remember 10-minute rounds. That was August, right?
That's for 2 weeks, and then you're fucking.
Oh, dude, I remember.
Then you're a monster for 2 months.
I remember the 10-minute rounds. First time I went through 10-minute rounds, like all the way, and showed up like
the whole class,
like the 4 nights a week.
And you never thought you could do it.
No,
but
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. By the end of that, I still got pictures of me at the end of that.
Shred dog,
bro. I was pretty big and shredded because I put on weight. Because, dude, we'd roll so hard. 10-minute rounds, nonstop. And at first you think, I'm dying. And I remember the first time I woke up the morning after one of those, I was like, my fingernails hurt. But my
earlobes.
I know. I started eating so much. And you're burning so much. Because you're doing that every night, dude. You're doing 10-minute rounds.
You like eat a gallon of ice cream.
Yeah, but we're doing 60 minutes. We're doing 60 minutes of 10-minute rounds.
Oh, for easily, yeah.
Easy. Every night. And I mean, you just couldn't eat enough. I could eat whatever I wanted. But I tried to eat it all. I tried to eat all my calories in chicken and rice and all that just good stuff.
Right.
Dude, I got so shredded. I remember that was the year we went to Iceland. Steph and I took that trip with her sister Casey and her cousin Lori. We went to Iceland and did all that stuff. It was awesome. But I remember when I got over there, I remember thinking, yes, I picked the right time to come over to Viking land. Because I was I was shredded.
Yeah.
I looked like a killer. Looked like a killer.
It does get you in shape, dude. Like,
it was insane.
It's insane how much cardio you could put on.
I'll tell you,
the hardest part.
My favorite thing, and I've always said this, one of my favorite things about it is just watching people walk in the gym the first time, and you go, this person's not going to know who they are in 6 months. They're not even going to recognize themselves in 6 months. And the girls are the best Because when the girls come in, they have no idea what to expect. Next thing you know, you see these girls just turn into these just smart, calculated,
Right.
physical. Like, and I'm talking girls who are like, you don't touch me with your feet. Those girls, they start that way, and they're killers in 8
Push
months.
through a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Girls are.
They're
good,
tough, man.
They're good at pain.
Tough.
Good pain handlers.
Big time. Way, way better than we are. So.
Oh yeah. Back to retrack.
Oh, sorry.
Before we hop back. Yeah. So it just popped in my head. I'm like, wait, where was I going with this shit? Sal and the round robin. The rule was don't get water.
Right.
After every round, it's kind of fucked because like
I don't know, man. I hate that no water shit.
But you're kind of trained because normally on a normal day after every round there's a water break.
Right.
You finish your round, you go get a sip of your water, whatever, hit the water fountain, come back. So it's almost like you're subconsciously trained to go fucking get water. Well, Sal walked off the mat like 2 or 3 times, like left the mat to go get some. Professor finally like, I said no water. 30 burpees. So this dude, this is like what, 4 or 5 rounds in.
And you're doing 40 burpees 4 or 5 rounds in.
We're at 3 to 4 rounds in, let's say, like enough to where we're all drenched in sweat. We're all tired. This dude had to do 30 burpees. We all got to kind of rest because we're watching them. And, we're all talking shit because that's how our gym operates. We're like, oh, that was 29. You still got 2 more, bro. Like, what the fuck? That didn't count. You didn't get low enough. And then he had to go straight into the roll because we're all ready by then. So he had to go straight into. I'm like, dude, that kicks your ass. Like, because you're tired. You like almost don't get caught up because then you do that roll. You're even more exhausted. And then like the time in between the next roll, you're like, you're too far gone. Like you're not bound.
Did he come in the next night?
He comes like every other day.
Okay.
But he did come back. When we did the Shark Tanks, I was wondering that. I'm like, oh, who's going to come back from after the Shark Tank?
I loved Shark Tanks. That was one of my favorite. Yeah, I like Shark Tanks.
They're tough, bro.
Well, yeah, they're tough. But, man, at the time, excuse me, I should probably say, well, no, I used to train with people that were going to compete. I do Shark Tanks with them.
Yeah.
But the one time that I was doing the Shark Tanks to get ready to actually go to a tournament for the first time, dude, I needed that. You had to have that. Because I just don't think people like
training with the MMA guys gets your ass too.
Especially if people have never ever been in front of, and there's a lot of people that have it. I take it for granted because I'm in front of crowds all the time, pretty much my whole life. I raced bikes as a kid. I was always in front of crowds doing what I had to do. I guess growing up playing some sports, you're in front of some crowds, but until you've been in front of like a tournament crowd, like whether you're in basketball, baseball, that where people they're there, and this is a big deal, and you're all in that, especially fighting somebody else for the first time. Well, doing jujitsu in front of people for the first time. Dude, I had no idea what to expect.
You don't know what his game is.
But it was the exact feeling I had when I wrestled in high school.
Oh,
so I recognized it was weird having that feeling again as a grown man.
I have a tremendous respect for wrestlers.
It was really weird.
People think I wrestled, but I
I would have thought you did.
No.
I thought you did for some reason.
No.
Well, that's because you're built like a wrestler.
And I guess
Yeah, you walk like a wrestler.
I like wrestling, but like.
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
I've always had a special respect for him.
I'll tell you what, dude.
It's not an easy sport.
You got to remember when I graduated high school, 92. Do you know how much like high school wrestling, like just collegiate wrestling, has changed? It is not.
Really?
I mean, oh my God, leaps and bounds the stuff they're doing now. Just like every sport. Like I'm obsessed with like BMX freestyle. I'm obsessed with skating, like skateboards and skating and all the tricks and the street stuff they're doing now.
The extreme.
Oh my God, the things that people are doing in sports now, as far as every sport, but like some of the sports that I really, really, really love.
Like when the 900 was big.
Nothing now. Have you seen some of the stuff these kids that aren't even like, they're not even sponsor pros. They're just kids that have Instagram pages that are insane. Some of the stuff they're doing on skateboards. The way some of the kick flips and shit that people have invented over time, they've added all these different steps and flips and like motions to a kick flip, which used to just be a kick flip off of a curb or a park bench or something. You're rolling, you kick flip. Now it's a kick flip that almost fucks you up visually watching it. You're like, that's impossible.
Goes around the moon and comes
But when
back.
they show it slowed down, these kids have gotten so good
Technical.
at being in the air, using their toes and heels with pressure to flip and maneuver that board.
I remember when
I'm telling you, man, it's like watching fucking somebody like paint. It's just like
it's insane.
Oh,
I remember when I was skateboarding, like like high school days, and like when they added pop to the board.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
where,
yeah.
Where they added that little like divot in the board that helped the board pop a little bit.
Oh,
and
my
then
God.
they start getting
Huge
crazy
difference.
concaves, and
Yep.
it's like even the board itself has become an instrument, like a new instrument.
Oh, yeah, they don't, they feel different to me now. Like the way they're, just because the wood has gotten so much, like just the way they press them, the way they put them together now, it's just a different feel.
Not as waterlogged.
Yeah,
like,
not even close. Because I've got some old decks from way back.
Mhm.
They're old. I get it. And they're on 1990s technology trucks. I get it. It's like, riding a suspension of like, man, this is the top of the line suspension, 1990. Yeah, get in that bitch now and see what you think. It's like riding a brick on coasters. Same thing with skating and all that stuff. But I'm telling you, the decks feel different. And they sure as hell last a lot longer. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I bet.
We used to chew the shit out of this. And we'd just break them all the time.
Yeah, hit the curb.
Oh, or just land wrong and land right in the middle of it and snap it in half.
Snap it.
All the time. But I still get, it's so funny, I still get a big smile in just my being. Just, when I'm driving down the road and I see a kid out in their front yard in their grass trying to figure out how to do an ollie.
That's awesome.
The little kid, look, that's awesome.
Maybe every once in a while you should just take a board ride.
Me?
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny is I don't have any decks that I gave away all my decks.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The last move I made, I gave away last 2 of my decks with trucks to these kids in the neighborhood that they were riding these pieces of shit, like boards that then I could just tell that, you know how when you see a kid's parents, you're like, oh yeah, they have no clue what he's into. You know what I mean? Like that's their kid, but I bet you they don't really talk to him about skating or anything. And you can see these kids they're trying stuff. So they were actually trying to get good. And really the problem this one kid was having is his board was just too freaking heavy and, wasn't the right board for what he was trying to do. So I gave him one of my decks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Probably made you feel great.
Yeah, but it had
Oh, no. Did you set this kid up for
No,
failure?
I didn't set him up for failure. It was the only one I had, though. It was brand new. It had a big pot leaf on the bottom.
Oh, shit. You should have sanded it off a little bit.
Yeah, I stickered it up.
Okay.
So it didn't. I said, not allowed to take stickers off.
He's like practicing board
He
slides
was
one
what?
day.
I said, just don't take stickers off until you're 18. That's what I said.
That's awesome.
So, that kid went right home, peeled those fuckers off. You know he did. Like, Dad, look at this plant.
I enjoyed teaching kids for a little bit.
I bet.
Coaching
They're cool. Like,
it burns you out, but like I enjoyed.
if it's something that, I'm trying to think. Like, if you said, hey, Scotty, you're going to teach 10 kids how to chip and putt today, I'd be like, awesome. Let's do it. Because I get that. And I know how to make them shut up and pay attention about golf. But if you said, hey, Scotty, you are going to be a chaperone of 10 kids on a field trip, I say, go fuck yourself. No, I'm not. See, because I can't handle that stuff. But if you give me something to teach, I love that. Because I've always felt like, I know you're a good teacher just because you've taught me stuff and you put it in like real life words. And it probably feels really weird to you that's natural. That's just how you do it. Now, there are people in this world that teach every day that don't have that natural ability that you have just to iterate something so simple. And they do this and they practice it every day and they're still not as good at it as you are naturally. So I feel like if you've got that in you as a person, if you can teach like anything, if you can break it down to somebody that literally like just has no fucking clue what a golf club is or anything. Yeah, I'm just going back to golf. And you can actually have them hitting the ball at the end of a half an hour. That's an amazing feeling.
It's funny you say
but
that.
that's a gift because not everybody can do that.
Well, I appreciate if
you're
talking
really
directly
good
to me.
Yes, I am. I'm talking absolutely directly to you. You have that gift, and that's a cool thing.
Appreciate you saying that because it's one thing I love, and I think me getting like there's no point in me joining like an MMA. Well, I like to train it. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
And I love them MMA guys. I help a lot of them get ready for fights. It's a grind. Talking about conditioning earlier. It's fun. It's great. But like, there's a thing to coaching that like I really do enjoy. Like I think I would get a lot of enjoyment out of, and I think that's gonna be the next step is getting guys, strategizing. I've like, let's go back to tournaments. Talking about being the competitor is crazy. It's just different. It's a lot
way different.
And I know I keep saying this over and over on my show, but now it's on your show as well.
It's fine.
But like it's just a different mindset. I think it's great for people to overcome. I think just getting on the mat, dealing with that anxiety, and putting your toe back on the mat, and but there is a coaching side that's fucking crazy too. Like when we go to tournaments for whatever reason, it could be all different belts, weight classes, whatever. All of our guys end up on the mats at the same fucking time. It's never
I know. And then you've got to freaking juggle, and then you got to figure out, oh my gosh.
So
that's terrible.
Coaching Mike, I just showed you the picture
Uh-huh.
of us. What do I call that picture? Like my promotion picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, everybody, Kevin just got his brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, it's
that's beast mode.
It's
man.
still fucking.
It's really neat.
It's still sinking in.
So proud of you, dude.
Thanks, dude.
Because I just know how, especially, listen, this doesn't go for every school, but I will say the school that we go to, or that I attended, I haven't attended in a minute, so I don't want to say I was there, but they don't just hand out brown belts.
It's not even.
Doesn't just nope. They don't hand out anything there, but they sure as fuck don't hand out brown belts.
Well,
if you got a brown belt under legs, you're legit.
It's my job to make sure I earned it and make sure
You
that
did.
I'm holding it correctly.
You did.
So yeah, it's still sinking in. I got to take that seriously, and I got to make sure I honor what I am. But
you know what's awesome about that? Hang on a second. Sorry to break your train of thought again, but because you're such a guy that I've always known since we've been friends. It's just a guy that hustles, and just goes after. And I'll never forget you saying that you just don't ever want to work for anybody. And I remember just admiring the shit out of that. Love this guy.
yeah.
But I'm saying with that brown belt you got, that's going to lead to black, because there's nothing now, not a doubt in my friggin' mind that you'll be a black belt. It's going to happen. It's time. Right now, it's just time. But with that black belt and the way you train and the way you're a legit, like when you get to black belt, I'm not saying black belts aren't legit. Everybody gets a black belt, it's a legit black belt. But a lot of times you get there and you hear those stories about the guys that don't train anymore, and they just kind of wear the belt and they're like, hey, look what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. And they kind of, like a doctor that graduates and doesn't study anymore. Okay, and that's fine. But you could take that black belt. If worse came to worse, and you could open a damn school. You always got to think like that. And you're a hustler, so I know you will. Like, dude, think about that. You get a black belt, you could be teaching your own you could have your own Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academy if you wanted. Talking about coaching. Well, hire your own coaching staff. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, and to close that out, what I was getting at was, like, I ended up coaching Mike at a tournament.
Yeah. Mike's the guy we train with. He's a good dude.
He's actually my very first podcast on my channel.
Is that's the blue belt, right? I was just looking at the picture I saw. Yeah.
Former Texans tight end, one of the teams I root for and shit. It's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but he so he ended up out without a coach, so I'm just standing at the barrier holding Emery as like a 1-year-old. I'm like yelling at Mike, but I can't.
you got your 1-year-old in your arms?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She came to me with that tournament.
She's gonna be a little fighter.
I was happy with that tournament, bro, because I'm like, all right, whatever is at this tournament is for Emery. And end up with a belt. I didn't know I was gonna get a belt, but it's cool to have a belt. I mean, it's local Tampa tournament, but hey,
that's cool, dude.
The belt's pretty cool.
You got a belt.
I got pictures of my daughter on the belt. That's the coolest part. But back to Mike. Mike, I realized coaching him, I have to speak in what he can understand. You can't just yell,
Scotty, block the hip.
Block the hip, dude. Which hip? He's gonna be thinking
which fucking hip,
which hip,
dude?
which grip? Am I cross gripping? Am I high grip and low grip? Like same side, left hand, right hand. So I just have to put it in simple terms that he can understand at the moment. Now Zach Allen, my black belt friend, who does a lot for me, he's been kind of like everyone's got like the guy, like he's like the guy I kind of stuck with because he's one of the best in the gym in my opinion. And
he's great.
For whatever reason, we've just always clicked, and he's always helped me a lot. And it's funny because we're two completely different body types, different weights and whatnot. But like he puts me on, and when he coaches me, we got a chemistry. Like he yells, I pick it up. I only have to look at him. But coaching you got to be able to identify who you're coaching, I did that with the kids. You can't like yell at the kid, hip toss. What the fuck's a hip toss? No, Christian, turn. Put your hip on his hip. Roll forward. Put your head to the floor. Try to hit your knee. Try to hit your head to your knee. And these kids will like do like, so you got to just identify how, that's like a part of like what I liked is like,
see, I love
active problem solving.
I love that. If you're my coach, I would, that's one of those things, but I think I need that. I think I need somebody, like if I ever compete again, if I ever do another tournament, you're on my mat.
Oh, I'm going
because the way you know me so well, that's the thing. And in your voice, I don't care. We were in a crowd of 500 people all singing Kumbaya. If you said Scotty in that crowd, I'd probably recognize your voice.
Oh, you're going to.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll make sure. But so that was what I was talking about. Then what did we go on to? Brown belt and legs, or where were we before that? I'm sorry.
Oh, we were just talking about you got to speak in the language.
Speaking the language. But I kind of rolled out of where we were going, but it's okay. We can.
Yeah, no worries. I'm going to cough again. Hang on.
But yeah, like.
Here we go.
Oh, hustling and doing something about it. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Sorry, it wasn't the smoothest transition back into it, but hey, we keep it real on my show.
It's all good.
But,
me too.
Yeah, so do you. You always have. And I admire it. I admire your radio. We're talking about all this shit, but like you've been grinding in radio since you were 15. You said.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been crazy.
And you've got one of the top shows here at iHeart, and fucking killing it. And I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm glad that even though you haven't been on the jiu-jitsu mats and stuff, we don't have that necessarily going right now.
I know.
Funny how full circle I'm starting podcasting because it's fun, and I'm like, fucking Scotty's like, who better to like talk to?
Yeah.
He's got this guy, like, you guys don't understand. Like, I know people say about Rogan all the time, like he's just so good at conversation and stuff, but the way you can like I walked in the other day on you recording your commercial.
Oh yeah,
that was fucking awesome. It was cool to watch.
Yeah,
like,
but dude, I've been doing that since I it feels like I've been doing that
But that's what I want to get to.
It's so wild, like
with this craft. I'll be there too, maybe one day.
Yeah,
sitting there like, dude, I've just been doing it forever. It's natural.
Well, and yes, natural. I hate to.
Why?
Because here's the reason. Just let me get my brain where I want to go.
Okay.
A lot of times, somebody goes, "Oh man, so much natural talent." That is a compliment. But when you get to certain levels, and you start moving above or ahead of people in any game, industry, whatever you're into, and you have that natural talent, but what they don't know is that you worked your fucking ass off obsessively with that natural talent. Sometimes people are like, he's so naturally talented. It's almost dismissive.
No, I meant it as in like...
No, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying,
yeah.
I always go, man, natural talent's awesome, but dude, I know a lot of naturally talented people that didn't do the fucking work, and they're not where they need to be.
I meant it as in like you did it so much that it's natural.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like breathing.
Yes.
It's
exactly.
Weird. Yeah, it's so weird.
So many reps that that it's subconsciously... subconsciously just ingrained. Like it's, you don't have to sit here and think about.
My brain thinks like that automatically. I was telling somebody we were at Jingle Y'all, our country show we did the other night. If people aren't from Tampa, what's up? I work for US 103.5, the country station. I do the afternoon show, and we had a big show last night with Jake Owen and Neon Union, and El King, and why am I spacing on Chris Jansen? Good Lord. Sorry, Chris. He's my boy. By the way, most famous name in my phone, Chris Jansen. Thank you very much. We exchanged numbers last night, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got to tell you that story. But where was I going with this? I said we were Jingle Y'all. Crap.
Becoming a natural.
Oh yeah.
The repetition's paying off.
Yeah. And that's something when you're around like those artists, those really good artists. Somebody like a Jake Owen. Jake's in his 40s. Jake's been around a minute, man. Jake's come up through the rank. All of them have. All of them have worked the shit gigs and, just dealt with crap. You know Elle King. You know who her dad is, right?
No.
Rob Schneider.
Oh, really?
Yeah. How's a big bitch? What was that movie? What was that? The one where
Deuce Bigelow?
Deuce Bigelow. And the woman's like,
I just always feel really awkward in public because I'm so big.
and he's like, oh, you're not that big. Nobody
Every
cares about
person
that.
he's
He
walking
goes,
by.
and by the way, her head's not even in the frame, you know, and her hands are huge. And he goes, you're not even that big. Nobody even hardly notices. You just hear, that's a big bitch in the background. That's a big bitch. I'm sorry. But that's her dad.
That's hilarious.
And she's funnier than hell on stage because her dad's a stand-up. Her dad's a comic.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, Elle King can, I mean, her voice is, whoo, man, she can rip. And she's funnier than hell. So, you know, just watching these people over the years that I've been doing country for the past like 5 years, watching how they work their careers and what they do and how, you know, I think it's a good lesson for people. You don't have to be great at something, you know, at the beginning. It's okay to work your way into being terrific. You know, you talk to any of these artists, they'll tell you the same thing. They put the work in. The voice they've got is not God-given. Can they sing? Okay, yeah, they can sing. But that was given maybe by the man upstairs. But the work they put in to make it as good as it could possibly be and even get better than they ever thought they could be, that's on them, you know? And that's the thing. Chris Jansen got on stage last night. I thought this was cool because how many people set goals and then they get disappointed because they almost get something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Jansen was like you get something, you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the one. And then you get it, you're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden something goes wrong. And you'd hit that goal, then you lost that goal. Chris Jansen was on stage and he was like, look, he goes, this song came about when he goes, I'd pretty much already been through 2 record deals and dropped by 2 different labels. He's 10 years in Nashville at this point. He's a songwriter. He's got a nice place. He's got a wife. He's hot. He's got some kids. He's happy. He's making a decent living. Can fish, hunt, do whatever he wants, pretty much anytime he wants. He's a songwriter. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Decided artist thing. Okay. I'll write songs. Writes this song and he goes over to, offers it to Blake Shelton. Blake Shelton said, nah, I don't know. Passed on it. And then Chris Jansen said, took it to every damn the record company in Nashville, and they said, I don't think country music's really going this route. Chris Jansen said, bullshit. And he wrote the song, You Can Buy Me a Boat. You ever heard that song?
No, I'm not a huge country guy, man.
I know you're not.
It's not. I'm in the wrong room right now.
No, you're good. But it was a huge ass song, you know, and he didn't give up, and that's the whole thing, you know.
I believe in that with people, man. Like my detailing company, I made pamphlets and I went door to door in so many places, heard so many no's. So many people said it's a watered down business. So many people, and dude, I probably was within 3 weeks going ham. It just it was putting
I remember.
I remember I made pamphlets. I went to a mobile home park because I'm like, these older people probably can't go out and wash their car. You know, they probably want somebody to keep their cars clean. They usually do keep their cars clean. I went to rich neighborhoods because I'm like, I want to work on some Maseratis. I want to work on some Bentleys. You know, I put some shit out there, and I even made little business cards. And you know, people leave shit on your window in a parking lot. And you're like, fuck this shit, and you just throw it on the ground or you don't touch it. Let the wind blow it off. I wrote one that said, "Nice car." You know what I mean? Like, it's disarming. It's like, nice car. Oh, thanks. Let me know if you like it clean.
That's awesome.
Or nice car. Let's keep it that way. And then it just had my business shit on the back.
But that's the hustle. That's the hustle in you.
Right.
You know? And I remember
I'm just saying I respect him going everywhere to try to hand out that song.
oh yeah. And the thing is, here, I'll play the song for people that also don't know country.
I ain't rich, but I damn sure wanna be.
He's good, man.
Okay. I think I have heard of this.
Working like a dog all day ain't working for me. I wish I had a red Chuckle that he kicked the bucket, and I was sitting on a pile like Warren Buffett. I know everybody
Listen, here we
says
go.
money can't buy happiness, but it can buy me a boat.
You damn right, it can buy me a boat.
It can
He's
buy
like,
me a truck.
it's like the original.
He's so funny.
Like the original. What is it? Anthony Oliver? Is that who that guy is?
Hang on. What'd you say? I had
It's
to.
like the original North of Richmond type.
Oh yeah, and you know it's funny, man. I was going to tell you, I had a tremendous time with him last night in a great interview. It's probably one of the best, like impromptu. Just, I'll put it to you like this: there were two dudes that needed to be in that room together last night for some reason. We got in that room together and we started talking, and the camera started rolling, and magic happened. It was like. Chris was real honest. He's like, man, I've been going through a lot of changes the past couple weeks. And I was floored that he said that because I, too, have been doing a lot of, working on changes. We talked about this. I told you you're going to be on speed dial. And I haven't had to call you yet.
Yeah,
I was going to call you the other night, but, dude, I fell asleep because I've just been going up at 6 a.m., hitting my appointments, making sure I'm where I need to be, holding myself accountable, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow starts... I'm getting back on the weights. I'm gonna start training again, like serious. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna be on an eating schedule. I'm gonna get serious. And tomorrow starts all the little projects that Steph made a list for me that I gotta get done around the house. So I gotta hold myself accountable for that stuff. Just trying to do.
Busy
Honestly,
work.
my new thing is, and I don't know where. I don't know why all of a sudden I can do this. Where literally past month, maybe month and a half, I haven't been able to get myself to where I can do this. But all of a sudden I just woke up and I said, that's it. Hold myself accountable in the way I'm going to do that. And Steph's like, just take it a day at a time,
Right.
Do the next right thing, which sounds so stupid. I hate saying that because I sound so cliche. I sound like such a douche. But you know what? It's the truth.
But in a world full of people who
Right. Don't do the next right thing.
Yeah, and they want
Exactly.
instant gratification.
Right. And I'm terrible about wanting instant gratification. Terrible.
Like,
oh, terrible.
They don't like a lot of people. Yeah, there's a lot of things that can pay off right away, but there's almost always a price,
There is.
underlying price.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying like don't go enjoy a candy bar every now and then, but
no, none of that shit.
but like, I don't know. There's just a lot. There's a lot in our like.
Shortcuts.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for one.
Some work, some don't.
Well,
the pills.
prime example, look at bodybuilders, okay? Look at the dudes, even the recreational guys that train that, are on TRT or take gear, without a doctor's supervision, whatever, who cares? People have been doing it for years. So this is nothing new to people. But you look at the guys that do it all with drugs and not as much diet, as far as like, they're eating, but they're eating shit, and they're eating a lot of calories, but they're eating shit, but they're getting big because of the drugs. A lot more drugs. They're taking a lot of drugs to get that big. Okay, will they get big? Will the muscles grow? Sure. Okay, because if you train and you eat, something's going to happen. Those guys, even if they're like pro genetics and they look amazing, okay, you take a guy that's taking half the drugs they're taking, but he's doing the majority of the work with food and like hard work, like as far as in the gym. Not that these guys aren't working hard, but I guarantee you when you see the finished product of both those, the guy that did more of it with the diet is going to have more of a dense marble kind of like almost
Like a
superhero
natural
appearance of thick, like holy shit, look at the slabs of meat on that dude's lats.
It's just tough because like the guys who do roids, like once you stop.
Well, and the thing is, if you look at a lot of the guys at the top right now, as far as just bodybuilding, and I haven't in a while, but
incorrectly, maybe I don't know.
Well, I looked probably, I don't know. Last time I really paid attention, like really went in and looked at a contest, some of the new photos and stuff. Some of these guys just look too fake. They don't look, and it's not that, I'm not saying their muscles are fake. I'm just saying there's a real distinct look between marble, like solid diet muscle with some drugs on top of it, and then just, a shit diet with all drugs. I mean, look, you can do it both ways. People say you can't, but you can. You're just not going to look, you're going to look different. You're going to still, to the average person goes, man, they're huge. Yeah. They don't know all the little intricate things because I've been a fan of this sport since I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So, but there's just such a difference. And I've even seen it with friends of mine that, like, We're taking a little higher testosterone level than they probably should. You know, I mean, look, they're younger. They can get away with it. They can do that shit. I don't screw around with that stuff. I take TRT. That's it. But did I screw around with that stuff at one time in my life? Absolutely. Does it work? You bet your ass it works.
I get so.
But you got to be careful and don't do it if you don't need to. It's stupid. You know, I mean, a lot of dumb. I did a lot of dumb shit when I was a kid.
I've gotten close a few times to like wanting to like get into that.
But now I've got to do it because of TRT. You know, because I don't have any. I've got the thyroid thing and all that stuff. So I got to do it. Do I? I like the fact that I can take a shot once a week, and my levels stay straight. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like I'm constant all the time. I like that because most guys my age aren't that. And and most guys my age, honestly, let's just call it what it is. Most guys my age are bullshitting you when they say they're taking the right TRT dosage. They're not. They're taking way too much. But most people don't need half the friggin' testosterone they're on to get the.
I know you got good professionals to talk to.
Yeah, I got people. Look, I had somebody tell me a long time ago when I started TRT. He looked me right in the eye, big dude. He said, "Hey, more isn't always better." That's what he said, and he's right because you feel better with less. You excel better with less. Your brain works better with less.
So
You just need what you need. You don't need freaking. Nobody needs to be walking around with a 3,000 count of testosterone.
So is that an ego thing?
Sure, it's an ego thing. Because here's the thing. When you take more, you get bigger. You know why? Because your estrogen goes up a lot and you hold a little more water. So the old tricks are this. If you want to look really good for a vacation, you diet way down. Like you get super thin. You don't eat any carbs. You get all the water off you. I mean, you drink water, but you get most of the water off you because you're not eating carbs, right? Like 2 weeks out from a vacation. A week before you go out of state or whatever, or out of the country or whatever for your vacation, take a big old dose of testosterone all at once. Well, the estrogen swells up, which makes you retain a little water, but you're already so lean. That water gets in between the skin and the muscles. You just look huge. But you got you look like you just came out of the gym pump all the time. That's why guys do it. And if you don't think people think like that, if you don't think guys actually know that bro science like I'm talking about, you're full of shit. It's out there. It's been out there for years. When I talk about this stuff to people outside of people that train and people that know, this kind of shit's been going on since forever. And they get the fact that when these bodybuilders are like, I'm natural. Yeah, go fuck yourself. You're not natural. Give me a break. Unless you're a tested natural bodybuilder in a competition, yes, you are. And are there guys that look amazing that do that? Yes. But don't give me this crap that Mr. Olympia is natural. Stop. That's just lying to people.
I'm going to troll them. I'm going to walk around telling people I'm natural.
Come on, you think
Ron... I'm 168 or whatever I'm at right now.
Yeah, dude.
No, I'm natural. I'm all natural, man.
Haven't you ever seen the dudes that have the... There used to be a guy that came in my gym when I was a kid that had a shirt on that used to say, I'm natural. And he was a huge beast of a man. I bought the same shirt and wore it in there that one day. I knew him. And he was like, that's bullshit. I'm like, no, this is true. What you're wearing is bullshit. This is natural. I don't care. First off, I don't judge people on that. Because let me tell you something about steroids. Let me tell you something about all that stuff, all the anabolics and all the crap. You still have to do the work. Now, does it make the work a little easier? Sure. At first, if you're somebody that's never done any sort of anabolic at all, your first cycle, you're going to be like, it's like, oh my God. Yeah, but that's it. That's the first time growth, whoa. And then after that, it's work, just like everything else. You want them bigger, you got to lift heavier. You got to eat more. It doesn't matter how much drugs you're taking. Sure, are they going to get a little bit bigger? Yeah. But how many idiots do you know that you've run across in your life that I've run across guys that I see in the gym, and they'll tell me what they're taking to freaking go to the gym. And I'm like, you're not competing you're not making money off this. No. So you're putting four
So is
terrible,
that all ego?
100%.
Sorry to interrupt.
100%. No, it's 100% ego. Yeah, it is. It's 100% ego. And most times you go back and you ask those guys, let me see a picture of you in high school. I know what you're going to see.
I'm trying to let ego go, but it's like...
I was going to say, ego's tough. And I have problems with that. Not so much like, I'm the shit. Look at me. I'm not that guy. And I'm not the guy that somebody's going to talk shit to and get up in my ego because I'm not that guy. Because I'm not...
You don't care what people think anymore, remember?
I don't really. No, it's not that. I'm just not intimidated by a lot of dudes and a lot of people. And like when people try to push those buttons, they try to like
You know it's something wrong with them, not you.
Yeah, I don't bite because I don't have to, and I don't bark because I don't need to. I just don't, and I don't know. I've always kind of carried myself in a way of confidence, man. My mom was really big on when I was a kid. Like she was not kissing my ass, confidence. But look, you carry yourself, and you know you have to be. If you carry yourself in a proud way with your shoulders back and your head up, and why do you think they teach all this shit in the military, bro? Why do you think they make people stand at attention with their shoulders back and shit? Because when you get out of the military, buddy, when you're standing on the side of a line like this and you're watching a kid play football, you can go down the fucking line and you can tell the guys are in the military. 100%. You can tell the dudes that serve because they're all standing like fucking Peter fucking Pan, power pose.
It's funny because I'm doing
You
it
know what I'm
just to make sure my neck feels good.
I know, me too. I'm doing it to stretch my neck and my lats out because I have a tendency of hunching over. They're doing it because they're badasses.
And that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's freaking bodybuilding, all that stuff's a bunch of horse shit. I love the sport. I love lifting weights, bodybuilding, and all that. I get obsessive with the dumbest shit. When I was a kid and I moved to Amarillo, that's the first time I ever started lifting weights. When I was a kid, and I hooked up with this guy. It was a sales guy who was in his 40s, and he was an ex-power lifter, like nationally ranked, and he was taking steroids, and that's where I got my first taste of it. Because I literally, when we met, I was a 140-some pound kid, and I remember I did the first run of those, and I got up to like 180. And I remember I went home for Christmas. Dude, I was 20. Was I 21? I was barely 22. And when I left, it was a year and a half later. That's what it was. I was 20. It was a year and a half later, so I just turned 21. Went home for Christmas after the first move away from home. My father dropped me off at the apartment, and he got on the plane and flew home. And I was 152 pounds when he saw me at Christmas. Probably just over a year later. I was 185 pounds, almost 190 pounds. I was huge.
Yeah.
And I looked like my uncle. And my uncle was 10 years older than me, so my uncle would have been like 30-something. I looked like my uncle.
Did I ever show you the picture of me when I was like almost 20?
Yeah, you showed me the picture of you, and you were just jacked. Just all you did, you said, was squats and eat and just.
Isn't it weird?
It's weird to say, dude.
Now look at me.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is I see pictures of myself when I used to eat like that and force feed myself and do all the heavy stuff. And I mean, I can do that again. I mean, I can put that shit. That's what blows people away here at the radio station. I'll come in. And the girls hate it because I'll be telling some of the girls. I'll be like, I've dropped 12 pounds in the past 2 weeks. And they're like, Jesus Christ, how the you do that? I'm like, well, 8 of it's water. Okay, so
8
I just
pounds?
ranked. Yeah, easy. 7 to 8 pounds water. Anybody, anytime. Why do you think when people stop drinking soda, they're like, I've lost 15 pounds? You have. You lost 12 pounds of water.
I think it's for me the alcohol.
It's alcohol,
I haven't
it's
drank in
sugar,
over
it's
a year.
salt,
And
it's all that shit.
I
And
cut
dude,
sugar.
you look so much like you look brighter. Your skin and shit. I was
you
going to
think
tell you
so?
that the other. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Because I saw you at night the other night.
See, guys, compliments are important, man. 'cause,
And
like, you
even-
never know when you're gonna let someone know they're on the right track.
And even under the moonlight, Kev looked like he was sparkling when he walked out of the house. I was like, God damn. I thought maybe you just got out of the shower and did your little facial treatment for the night or whatever.
Bro, my diet's been insane lately. It's been
Clean.
but
Yeah.
take a guess how many calories I'm taking in.
This is my problem. I'm not eating enough. Okay?
I don't
Because
think I'm sleeping enough.
I'm telling you
It's
something right
gotta be
now. I
that.
slept like shit last night, and as soon as I woke up this morning, I cursed you. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
You said the other night you were having trouble sleeping, and I was in a groove where
I
I
put
was
that on you, Ricky Bobby.
You did. You
put that
did.
on.
You did. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I'm at 3,200 calories today,
Wow.
but I hit 4,000 a lot. I'm
Damn,
I'm trying to get the 170 grams of protein. Yeah, so you gotta I'm doing the whole track your macros.
Are you? That's the best way to do it.
I'm meal prepping. I'm like,
Well, and if you stay on this schedule, have you figured out how much it's supposedly your body's supposed to gain? Because sometimes you can do that with a.
I talked to my buddy Jake, the Actually, we just talked about him on the podcast with Tano, but he was the strength and conditioning coach for Baylor and Villanova, stuff like that.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah.
remember him.
You met him at the
Yeah,
gym. Big
he's a
Jake.
great
Big
dude.
Jake. Yeah.
Yeah, great guy.
So he's put me on. He's the guy. Dude, that guy is a life-changing dude, and I'll bring him up every fucking day if I have to, just because of how much unconditional advice he's given me. And
That's awesome.
And that's something that would be interesting to get into one day or whatever, is just like not even just a shout out to him, but just like for people out there struggling. I've always wanted success. I've always wanted to be better than normal. I've always thought, why be average? I've always just been that person.
You
Like,
have.
If I do something, I want to be good at it.
And that's no bullshit, because when I met his mom for the first time, it's the first thing she told me.
And
First thing she said about Kevin. He's
I-
always been like a star.
I didn't grow up
You know?
with the most. I didn't grow up with the least. But it took up until I met people at my gym. I mean, and I didn't go to the gym for these people. I went because it was just something I loved.
Right.
And I knew it was for me the day I walked in. And I knew it was for me before I walked in. It's when I had that talk with my buddy Donald where I'm like, dude, you know, I did boxing for a little bit. Let's go to an MMA gym and try it out today. Like, you graduated, you went from the wrestling team. You know, I'm down. Like, we used to bring gloves everywhere we went and do those little, we were doing that Kimbo shit before it was viral. It was funny, but it was fun. You know what I mean? And, but I always wanted, always wanted success, but didn't know how to do it.
Right.
And it wasn't until I met like people like, you know, you got success. A lot of people at that gym are just, that's another thing is like, I'm like, I got to talk to these people. These people can help people who listen. Like, there's a lot to gain from these people. But Jake is one of them people who I can just go to and be like, hey, bro, I'm thinking about buying my condo. Boom.
Right. Boom. Here's what you do. Let me get you hooked up with this guy.
Fucking
blah, 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 blah.
checklist comes back to me.
Yeah, but you know why? Here's why. Because it's the sport, man. It's jujitsu. It's what it does. It doesn't matter. Like, and I guess you could say this with anything, but like we're just talking about jujitsu here. The reason he's giving you that stuff for free is because you're a brother. Like, you've been through the battles. Like, you wake up sore and bruised and beat up, and you limp to work as a man that probably shouldn't. I remember coming into the radio station on numerous days, just the biggest black eye because I took an elbow from somebody. Or my favorite black eye was the day I slammed my face into the dude's knee when I was trying my takedown from the opposite side because I had what you call a ganky. Everybody's got a gank side that you just can't get to work as good.
Yeah.
I'm left-hand dominant, but I've learned to roll more strong right because everybody likes to teach right. So I was trying to incorporate my left hand, I wanted to shoot left-handed. So I go in for a takedown. I've been practicing this drill.
Coordination's just not there.
And, my coordination wasn't there for one, and I don't know what it was. I don't even know if it was a shot. I just dropped straight down, and I remember when I did, I just saw stars. Bang! And I hit dude's knee square in my eye socket.
How long did the black eye last?
Oh, that was a good 2-weeker.
Yeah.
But I remember when I woke up the next day, I came in. I remember I put it up on Instagram and I captioned it, "This is actually fun." And I walked in and like 3 people were like, "That's fun?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's fun." I said, "It wasn't fun last night when I did it." But then I started thinking the majority of things that have happened to me in that gym as far as injuries, I did to myself. I was thinking about that. Most of the time were my fuck-ups. Most of the time I rolled the wrong way, or most of the time I slammed into somebody's knee, or most of the time I forgot to duck when I knew somebody's going to be slinging an arm around because that's position.
And look, folks, I've tried a lot of martial arts, and this one is like, I never thought I'd be the dude rolling around in a bathrobe.
No, me neither. But
Like,
I'm
that
going to
shit
tell
did
you
not
what.
look interesting. It did not look like my thing, dude.
I'll tell you what.
And
I'd love to get my hands on you. Let me get my hands on you. I'll show you the guy in the bathrobe.
making people afraid of gravity.
Yes. That's a great caption you put up.
Yeah, that's
Since 2015, you
since
said.
2015. Yeah, but yeah, man,
It's crazy what jiu-jitsu can teach you.
and yeah,
like,
there's just you like put yourself in adversity.
yeah,
like, these are
all
people
the time. That's the thing.
Who show up to put themselves through adversity
to
daily.
be uncomfortable.
To be uncomfortable, fight uncomfortable, like and like fight just your humanistic nature is not to do this.
Of course not.
One of the first things I think
fucking
most
sucks.
amateurs have to learn is not to run from somebody on top.
No.
Like Bobby would tell you, I think the way he puts it is face your fears.
Face your fears,
So
man.
instead of turning your back to somebody
Yep.
who's controlling you, you got to look at him. You got to figure out how
You got to
to
be on your back.
fight a human who's trying to control you.
Yep. He's
Yeah.
trying to, basically. But what's creepy and what's wild is, and anybody that does jiu-jitsu, anybody rolls knows, but people that don't and don't understand when we're talking tops and bottoms, some people just turn this podcast on and get a whole different idea. But this is jiu-jitsu, tops and bottoms. But anyway, if you're a bottom dude, like the guys
Guard
can lay
player.
flat on the guys can play guard and lay flat on their freaking back, and you can take the biggest dude in the room, you can put him on top of him, you can say, all right, you grab this guy, this guy's flat, pancaked. Legs out, sprawled out, okay? You lay on top of this dude, right? You get on him any way you want. Take a 350-pound guy. Lay on him any way you want. Grab anything you want. Grab his arm, grab his neck, grab his... You just say when you're ready. A good guard player will be out from under that dude in 3.5 seconds. Easy.
work. Yeah.
And people are like, that's bullshit. Yeah, well, you want to bet? Because I'm telling you, there's guys that are... You walking on all fours like an animal, okay? Like, picture everything you can do with your hands and your feet standing, like, standing up, like, in front, like if you were, how do I say this, on top of somebody, like everything you can do just
Like a bridge.
Yes, like a bridge, right? Same thing from the bottom. People just, it's amazing. They control everything you do, and their backs are on the ground. That's fascinating to me. And I'm saying, like, you have no... People that don't do it have no, like I try to tell my uncle, I try to tell a guy here at the radio station, Fallon, for instance. Fallon's a black belt now.
Mm-hmm.
But even Fallon is a blue belt when she won worlds and all that stuff. I told him, I said, you're a 260-pound grown man. And I said, I have a 125-pound blonde girl named Fallon that if I said, sick him, I said, she could take you to the ground, choke you unconscious in less than 6 seconds. And I said, there'd be nothing. Listen to me when I say this. Nothing you could do to stop it. And he looked right at me, and this was the ignorance, and this is what I love about people who've never done it. He's like, it's bullshit. She wouldn't be able to get close to me. And I was like, oh.
Wouldn't be able to get close.
Wouldn't be able to get close
It's probably
to
faster than his ass,
I'm like,
too.
dude, she'll be around your neck before you blink. Like, you don't understand.
That's what's scary, too.
That's
is
what.
if
But
you
that's
ran,
ego.
she could probably hawk you down.
That's the ego thing, because I would answer the exact same way if I was him and I didn't know.
Right.
And I also would have answered the exact same way with, by the way, first girl to ever tap me 6 times in 5 minutes, and I couldn't do a damn thing to stop it. And my whole mindset when I saw her and we set up against each other is, I better be careful. I don't want to hurt this little thing. And she just bitch slapped me for 5 straight minutes, tapped me out.
Yeah.
Dude, 5 times. And there was no, like, it hurt. I had to stop. I was like, this girl's amazing. I was like, this is great. And that's when I realized it's a superpower.
My first gym didn't allow girls.
Really?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
So like
Why?
I think going to Supremacy was like the first time they were in the class with us.
Yeah.
And it was like a little bit funky at first, but then you start realizing that there's some pretty tough ones. You're like, all right.
Hey, who's the girl that's a brown belt that trains there? You don't have to give her full name. Just give her like I believe she's either Portuguese or she might be Portuguese Asian Portuguese. Like I think she might be Asian. I think she's a brown belt. I see her on Instagram.
Is
She's
there
older,
Kristen?
but she looks like she can.
I think there's Kristen, I think is who you're thinking of. She speaks Spanish.
Oh, does she?
Her husband's Cuban.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell this because I've just seen her in
I haven't seen her in a while.
far
so
off shots.
I got
She was a
dad
brown
brain,
belt.
so
Yeah, but she looks like a beast. She looks like somebody messed somebody up as a brown belt. I don't know. As far
like,
as,
she's like a nice, gentle soul too.
yeah.
She's like not a very like aggressive human being, but still a dangerous person if you
I'm
like.
telling
That's
you.
why I'm like seeing her. I don't think her husband trains. If we're talking about
Oh,
the same
really?
girl, and I'm like, so how's that go? Like,
I don't know. I always wondered that. I always wondered, like, when you, like, if I, and for instance, I don't know, we'll pick a name, Paige Van Zandt, so, maybe she calls me up. She goes, hey, what's
Probably.
up, Bubba? This dude that I've been dating has got legs 3 times as big as yours, and he doesn't have bird legs and tatted up, and he knows how to fight. I'm dumping his ass, and I want to be with you. I don't know if I would, because I'd be afraid she'd knock shit
are you
out of
talking
me.
about her actual man?
Yeah, her actual
My
man.
buddy just ran into her.
Oh, really?
I have a picture. He sent me a selfie with her. He was at.
She's awesome, by the way, and her boyfriend's cool as hell too. I'm not slamming him at all.
It was in Jacksonville. It was some comedian was just in. Brett.
Bert Kreischer.
Yes.
Yeah.
My
Bert's the
buddy was
shit.
just walking around that venue. She was like standing outside the
And
bathroom.
you saw Paige?
And he saw
Wow.
and he went up and got like a. It's funny. He said he went up and got like a selfie, and then he was talking about the boyfriend who came out.
Oh,
and
he's a
like,
big son of a bitch.
and
If it's the one I'm thinking of, unless
the same description you just said is exactly what my boy just said.
he's huge.
It's funny.
He's a big boy.
And he's like, dude, imagine like the shit that guy has to put up with like all the time. And
Oh,
it's like
man.
these are two badass people walking down the thing, and you still got to deal with all these fucking
I'm
people.
sure as badass as she is, and as badass as her boyfriend is, there's still morons that talk shit and want to start. I mean,
It's almost like a target.
haven't you ever heard Cowboy and those guys talk about all the times they've been approached in parking lots?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dude, that's a fucking professional. That's a champion. But they're still idiots. Cowboy said he got punched in the mouth. He took 2 punches in the mouth, and finally his wife got out of the car and grabbed him and said, "Get your ass in the car."
Michael Bisping
Bisbing, that's right. They always want to start shit with him too.
and Chael Sonnen.
I'm like,
and
what?
Chael Sonnen in the elevator in the hotel just recently. 5 guys,
Ignorance.
5 dudes.
Did he knock him? I didn't see that. When was that?
It went under the rug pretty quick, but if I'm not mistaken,
Did he knock the shit out of him?
so from the story I heard, he was walking former UFC fucking bad, like almost beat the shit out of Anderson Silva for 5 rounds.
Right.
He got caught in the triangle
Right.
in the last minute.
Which
One of the most badass moments, in my opinion, in UFC history is like
yes.
taking
'Cause-
down that guy and just being the guy who beats the piss out of him for so,
5 rounds.
so much respect. But yeah, evidently he was in a hotel somewhere. I want to say almost a casino. I could be wrong about some of these details. Don't hold me to it. Google it yourself. Get the real information wherever your news source. But because he don't really talk about it because he was in a lawsuit. I think it just settled though. But yeah, 5 dudes. I think they're harassing his wife during the process. And evidently he assaulted all 5 of them. Walked out just fine. And like it got kind of swept under the rug. He didn't say very much about it. He was very limited. But I think it just settled.
Well, you know what? That's a shitty thing, man. That's a shitty place to be in, a shitty situation to put people in. You got 5 dudes talking shit, and it's your wife.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, and I don't blame that guy at all. I don't blame him at all. Dude, he's a professional fighter, and that sucks because those guys probably felt like they were protected because they're like, this guy can't go after us because if he does, we'll sue
Mm-hmm.
and we'll make money. And he knows that.
Bitch,
Plus, if he goes after him, then he can be arrested and all this bullshit.
that's a bitch ass beta male.
It is a
mentality
bitch
right
ass
there.
beta male mentality, and you know what? I don't blame him for what he did because there's one rule I have. If my wife, you know.
If you're following me back to the room, I think that was part of it too. They're following them back to the room.
Well, and that's another thing. Like, people, you gotta stay like alert. Like, I'm not talking to everybody, but there's a lot of people who are just duh. You walk into a hotel, you don't pay attention to who followed you in off the street.
Mhm.
You're not paying attention when you get out of the car because you're looking at your phone. I'm just saying you gotta pay attention to this shit because 5 dudes behind you, and you say you're walking down the hall of a hotel and you got 5 dudes that are 50 yards back. Do you even know they're there? Are you even paying attention? Did you even notice there were that many people in the lobby? How many faces did you count when you went in the lobby? Did you even count faces when you went through the lobby?
Right.
Dude, this is my life. I pay the fuck attention to shit. I may always look like I'm not.
Mhm.
That's fine. I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing when it comes to that shit. I am always aware of where I'm at and who's in there and how many people are and who would be the biggest problem if shit went down. I always have it lined up.
Yeah.
It's just how I feel safer that way.
I'm always scanning the room. I'm
Always.
always trying to be observant.
You don't sit with your back to the door either, do you?
My back to the door.
I never sit with my back to a
Oh
door.
no,
Never.
I prefer wall. Like I'm
Yep.
never really in the center of a room.
Nope.
I try not to be.
Mm-mm.
Unless I'm super comfortable.
I always try to be in the corner.
But even then I'm still kind of like
do you
keep
count
my vulnerabilities and
Do you count exits when you go in?
no, but
Do you look for them? Do you always make sure you know where they are? Because I do. Every friggin' place I go.
there's times like if I'm with my family and stuff, I'm always like, where am I going?
Well, that makes sense.
If I'm
Yeah.
like with the kids or like whatever, I'm always like, all right, like what would I do? I put myself in situations like where I'm like, if this happened, what would I do right now?
Right. Did I tell you why I do that?
No.
I had one of the, we went on a, staff and I and a bunch of neighbors of ours from the old neighborhood, the first neighborhood when we moved here. We went on this bar crawl. Went up to Dunedin, hit all the little pubs and shit up there.
Okay.
It's awesome. You know,
Cool area.
Steph and I don't drink, but we went on the bus, and it's fun because everybody started out sober, you know, and by the end, everybody's and we're the only sober ones, so we remember how everybody was.
It's nice at the end of the night when you're the sober one.
Yes, and everybody else you know is going to go home and feel like shit tomorrow, and you're like, we're going to get up and go eat a big breakfast. It's going to be great. But one of the guys that was in the crew was ex-military. Now, I knew he was ex-military. We never talked anymore past that as far as his military career. He always looked like he was, looked like at one point he had been a specimen of a physical person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just looks like a guy that doesn't do it as much as he used to. But you can tell. So I always wondered, like, but I never asked because I didn't know him that well. But we kind of got to know each other a little bit more on the bus because he wasn't drinking all that much either. And we started talking. Then we started sitting next to each other. Well, the first bar we walk into, there's one chair against the wall, and me and homeboy grab the handle of that chair at the exact same time. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and he goes, "I don't sit with my back to the door." I go, "Well, I don't either." I go, "You just said, is that a military thing?" He goes, "Fuck yeah." He goes, "What's your story?" And I go, "Sit down, I'll tell it to you." So it turns out he's a SEAL. He was a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
He's been retired for a while, but he was in the teams back in, I think, 90-something. And he was telling me just all the stories and stuff. But he was just saying that's the rule. You know, that's just how you are. Always aware of your surroundings. And I get it. But he was kind of bewildered why I was that way because he's like, "Are you military? No. Did you used to be a cop? No. Are you this?" I said, "No, but I had a father that when I was 8 years old told me a story that changed my life as far as I'll never sit with my back to a door." Because my dad told the story about being in a bar in our hometown one night. And this place was called the North Inn Tavern. And it's still there. To this day, it's expanded and stuff. And it's, you know, bigger and cooler than it ever was. But back in the day, it was a little corner, like, neighborhood bar. Okay? And people would just roll through the North Inn Tavern, pull in, get a drink, whatever. But Dad said the bar was one of those old school spots where you walk in and you see a bar. Big bar lines the wall. And the doors are behind you. And there was a bell on that door. So you'd sit with your back to the door. Everybody was trained when that bell went. They just turn around and glance, see who's coming in, right? That's why the bells are there, by the way, if people don't know. A lot of people don't look at bells. You go to these restaurants at night, like go to a freaking, I don't know.
IHOP?
Yes, and the bell. That's one with the bell. I sat there the other night, and I was getting I had so much anxiety because that bell would ring, and I'd check, and nobody else's head would turn around in that damn place. It drove me crazy. I'm like, you people, what is wrong with you? That's what I obsess over.
NPCs.
I know. So anyway, my dad said he was sitting at the bar, down the bar, and his buddies were there. And this guy he knew was sitting at the bar. And Dad said anytime that bell would ring, Dad, he'd turn around and just look. Dad said that bell rang. He said this dude walked in. Just looked like anybody else. Except he walked up behind a guy that was sitting at the bar and put a 45 in the back of his head. And the guy that was sitting at the back at the bar who heard that bell ring that didn't turn around felt this thing, gun, hit the base of his neck. And he turned around like that, and the guy goes, "Oh, shit. Sorry, dude, wrong guy." Put the gun back in his fucking coat and walked out of the bar.
What the
Wrong guy.
What the fuck?
My dad said his fucking jaw hit the ground. Like, number one, Dad said you froze solid because the guy just pulled a gun out, put it back to somebody's head, and you went, is that guy fucking? Like, it takes you a second to realize you're in reality. This is happening. And then all of a sudden, the guy just turns around and goes, "Hey." And he goes, "Oh, shit, wrong guy." Puts the gun back in his pocket and exits it, all within 5 seconds. My dad was like, this just happened. But my dad said from that point on, I think they ended up tracking the guy down that did that, you know, whatever. But it was the wrong guy.
Was it
he was
a hit?
No, he was looking for the guy that was screwing his wife.
Oh, that was
And
my
the guy was Dad said it's horrible to say, but when they put the picture of the guy out that he was actually, you know, looking for compared to, you know, who he spitting image. He's like, If his friend would have turned around, he said he would have got his head splattered all over that bar. Isn't that nuts?
Imagine like
It's like the 60s this happened. So, you know what I mean? And my dad told me that story when I was a kid, and I have never, ever. So in my
So
back
that stuck with you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what else stuck with me? That and another reason I think I'm so big on that is mainly that. I mean, 100% really that. But I still remember being like scarred from the first time I ever heard of somebody going into a restaurant and shooting up the place. In 1980 something, I remember that happened to a McDonald's somewhere. And I remember
yeah,
that
you
was
told me about it.
everywhere. And they said people were trying to dive through the big plate glass windows to escape and shit. And the guy went in there. I mean, he leveled the place, shot a lot of people. And I remember that was like one of the first times ever I remember hearing that. And one of the first times it ever really happened that it was on the news. And then that freaked me out. I wouldn't go to McDonald's. I remember my dad was like, what is wrong? I'm like, I'm not going to go there. Somebody will shoot us. And he was like, oh, man. He's like, you got to get over that shit. And I'm like, no. You know, I was one of those kids that would hold on to stuff. I was always scared as a kid.
Right.
And I think that's another reason I loved jiu-jitsu and everything it did for me, because it was for the first time in my life, even as an adult, you know, since I started training, that's the first time I walk and I don't have any fear. I don't have a fear. I mean, I have a healthy
Outside the gym, or like, are you talking about while you're training?
I'm saying outside the gym.
Outside the gym.
Yeah, I'm saying don't get me wrong, I have a healthy fear.
Right.
I live paranoid at all times. But I don't have that fear that I used to have of, I hope nothing happens. I used to have that fear all the time. Now I'm like, okay, we'll see.
Well,
But
it's
I'm
like
more at
those
ease.
moments are like fight or flight.
And I'm used to it now.
And
I know what fight or flight is now. I get
Yeah.
it. I know when to get. What's funny is your spidey senses get better as you train. Your fight or flight flares
Yeah,
up
you ever,
a lot quicker.
You ever like drop like your shirt, catch the hanger, or like you know what I'm talking about? Like you ever like your reflexes catch something?
Oh,
or,
yeah.
Like and
Yes.
it just surprises the fuck out of you. And you're like,
You're like, wow, I did that fast. That must be because I'm used to breaking grips like that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
something like that. Yeah, like something falls and you just kind of casually catch it. And you're
Yep.
like, oh, that.
And you're not even looking.
There's like a video of Conor McGregor in a crowd watching, I think, a fight. Someone threw a hat, and he's casually watching the fight, and he just moves his head right
It's
out of the
wild,
way.
right?
The hat goes flying right. It was coming straight for his face, and
The
he just,
instincts.
without like even hesitation, moves out of the way of the hat, puts his head right back, and keeps watching. And everyone, it's like there's like a video up there, and it's.
Have you ever seen those videos of like there was a stretch on the PGA Tour where Tiger Woods, I mean, back when he started his run, where he just dominated, and he still, you know, could do the same damn thing, but like back when he was a young guy and he just started and nobody had ever seen anything like him before, and it was just he was just leveling people. I remember there was a tournament where he was having trouble putting, and he warming up that day or something. Somebody said, "Hey, close your eyes," or something at a certain point at the stroke, and he ended up playing like that a whole tournament, and ended up just killing everybody. And there were clips they play back. It's like his eyes closed, and it was like, and it was through a certain point of the stroke. I know that doesn't make any sense, and it goes against everything people said, but for some reason that day it was working for him, and he was using it as an exercise, and he ended up making all these putts with it. And I just remember that. That's what we're talking about. That's what you mean about, like, you get so sharp with your senses with a certain thing. You're so good at it that it starts coming into the rest of your life.
You want to hear something interesting? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that's why Tiger was a millionaire or a billionaire, because he can take that kind of focus and put it in ways to make money. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can take that focus and put it in anything.
There's not money in jiu-jitsu yet.
I know, not yet.
I'm gonna keep knocking.
Not yet. Hey, is that dude still rolling that, Buchecha? Is Buchecha still dominating?
I think he's in MMA now.
What?
I think he's doing like MMA.
Is he still sponsored by Ruka?
I'm not
Boy,
sure.
he's a bad
There's,
motherfucker.
Adolfo Vieira,
Yes.
he's in UFC.
That dude's a bad motherfucker,
He's been doing, and his hands look good last fight. They were saying
Yeah.
he's just a jiu-jitsu guy looking. His
Most
hands are-
jiu-jitsu guys don't look good when they start fighting.
But here's the thing. Here's one thing you gotta think about MMA. Oh, he's just jiu-jitsu. He's just jiu-jitsu. But even a lot of good strikers. So a good striker is going to try to keep his distance so you can't get him down or cling him or whatever, right?
Mhm.
So when there's the threat of like the takedown, they box a little bit different, right? So when you start learning striking as like a really, I mean, this guy's like world class
Right.
grappling.
Right.
When he starts learning striking, I believe that it takes a little bit less than average striking time and repetitions and training because the guy always has to fear your takedown. So he always has to be afraid of the shot
True.
or you getting too close.
True.
And you start getting some basics down to read the striking. He can't really, a lot of times the striker seems like he can't really unload at his like level or potential.
No, because he's got to be planted to do that.
He's leaving a vulnerability for
Right.
the takedown. So you almost like being a good grappler in a lot of cases seems to nullify like some of the advanced techniques the grappler or the striker might have.
That makes a lot of sense, and I never actually thought of it like that. But that that seems like because if I can fight, if I can throw, I can throw punches and combinations, and you stand up in front of me, I gotta have one of my fucking legs out.
It doesn't mean he doesn't have an advantage to the striker on the feet.
No, because all it takes is one. But
yes, of course.
But I'm gonna have to have one of my legs out. I'm either gonna be right or
like you said,
southpaw.
you got to watch when you plant. You got to
Yeah.
be much like the.
Well, even when you step, even when you make space, your legs are. I mean,
When two guys are going to kickbox each other, it's like, okay, we're going to trade. We're going to set
Right.
each other up.
right.
But when it's going against this guy, you got to self-consciously be like, if I plant or step, when people don't understand too, circling's huge. In striking, you don't go straight backwards.
No, you circle,
You got to circle.
and those
But-
legs get way open when you circle. Sometimes.
When you circle, you got to step in the right spot because if you leave the right angle, you're leaving a shot or you're leaving. So you got to the striker still has some work on his plate and some techniques on his plate to watch out for. But Adolfo Vieira's striking looked pretty impressive the last fight I watched him do. So he's another one that's like in the MMA zone now. It's pretty exciting to watch.
You know who I haven't seen fight? How's what's his name? Megatone's daughter. How's Megatone's daughter doing?
Oh, she just lost her last fight.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Was it pretty bad? Was she get beat up or did she?
She got
tap
pretty
or-
dominated this last time, but
Oh.
she was up at a high, like she's up in the top 10.
Yeah, I know
Maybe
she
UFC.
was. I know she was winning a lot with submissions and stuff.
Yeah, and then it's weird because I think the fight before this one, she went against like a high level striker and she struck with her the whole time and won. And then this girl that she just went against, just like, it got to the point where she kept punching her, knocking her down, but she wouldn't engage on the ground. Like, it's not like she chased into for the finish. She would say, stand back up. And then she would drop her again, stand back up, and drop her again. And it just became this endless loop where they just called it. They're like, all right,
That's brutal.
yeah.
But she's tough, dude. That girl can fight. I remember.
She's
I remember
tough.
when she first got in there, she was having trouble making weight and stuff, and people were giving her shit. But I just respect the hell out of her.
She won a fight shortly after having a baby. That was pretty cool. Too.
Yeah. What the fuck? I
I
remember
got a
that.
whole new respect for that.
I remember that. I was like, yeah, dude. Every mother that just heard you say that is like, hell yeah, sister. Because, dude, could you imagine? I couldn't even imagine. I'm telling you what, I couldn't imagine doing a fight after a really hard bowel movement. Couldn't imagine having a baby and get my ass on to fight somebody. Dude, with your hormones going crazy the way
Yeah.
they are up and down. Could you imagine?
No.
Oh, I bet you get mad easy, though. I bet you get to that state of, I'm going to rip somebody's head off with the hormones. But,
Imagine
dude,
after like what you just went through.
could you
Pain,
imagine?
your pain threshold's
I'm
got to be up there.
trying to think
Escalated.
how bad your body would have to, how hard that would be to get your body to go through something so traumatic as childbirth. And then,
I've
flip-
watched it twice, bro.
I know, but flip right around and fight?
It's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. That should be.
I tell you what, like I remember the first time watching our first one when the night that we go in there and watching it all go down, and I just remember sitting there like, damn, this don't look fun. Like,
No.
you know, I'll push through tattoos. I'll push through hard ass training. Like,
Right.
I train with like Jake has put me through some hard workouts. I've done some hard training days, Shark Tanks, everything we've talked about. And I'm like, yeah, I could push through. I try not to be a bitch on the mat. I try not to be a bitch almost everywhere. Sometimes it gets me though, but like watching like the expression and the body language of Brit, I remember like, this is fucking, and there's no getting out of it.
No, it's
Like
coming
if you're going
out.
through a brutal
Yeah.
tattoo, like a long tattoo section,
Take a break.
you're like, I could take a break.
Yep. Couple days, come
Okay.
back.
Yeah, I'll let we'll call it quits up once we finish this corner. I mean, I've never really done
Honey,
that,
you get this leg out, and then, we'll take a couple days off. We'll come back. We'll finish up the rest later.
like yeah, or like
No.
a Shark Tank. You can look like, I don't know if you listened to that episode I sent you. Did you?
I didn't. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I didn't.
But you can like look up at the clock and be like, okay, I got 3 minutes left. That's 1 minute 3 times. It's not that bad.
Right, break it down.
Breaking
make
it down, yeah. But when it's like that, it's like fucking like 16 hours, 14 hours, 12
Ugh.
hours, and
And I know you because you're very, very like you care about people, and you're very, very, as far as like you pick up on their vibes and you pick up on their emotions. Did you say anything where you were trying to be like, you got this, babe? And she's like, you shut the fuck up. Did she go off on you at all? She didn't strike me as that type. I'm just saying, she didn't strike me as that type.
She's a beast.
That's what I
and
was gonna say.
She probably a little bit.
There's always got to be something.
I
Wouldn't you
expected
expect
worse
something?
because I know her attitude.
Oh yeah.
Like I expected worse, and it never came. So I had that like a little bit of like, all right, it's coming. But
Well, she's Hispanic, so
Yes.
she's got the spicy attitude.
I honestly feel like, man, she was built to be a mom. When I met her, she gave off like that. I just want to be a mom vibe. She's like,
Well, she's a sweetheart,
she's all in on the kids, all in.
and you have beautiful kids.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, your new little girl, your 4-month-old,
Mhm.
she's funny.
She's hilarious.
Can I
right?
just
You
say
saw
she's
her
funny?
the other night?
Yes,
Yeah.
she's funny. She's naturally funny. As soon as she walked out, I went, I go, there's the comedian of the family. Because
What gave you that vibe? I was wondering that.
here's why. She performed. Yes. No, I swear to
Okay.
God, because when she walked over, when Britt walked over and she was holding her and she was facing us, and you go, hey, beautiful, you look like mommy. And I looked at her eyes and she went,
That big old
okay,
smile.
she got that smile. And then you looked back at me. She wasn't done with you. And she went, and she jumped stiff-legged. And then you looked and you went, what? And you showed attention. And she realized, gets me that attention. And I'm telling you, she cut up the rest of the time. And she was performing. And that's when I looked at you and went, you got a comedian on your hands. Because she liked you giggling. She liked to see
working
you
me, yeah.
laugh. Every time you'd laugh, she'd get
Dude,
excited.
They work you.
Yes,
They
it was
learn to work
awesome.
you,
It was
especially having
yeah, it's
all
amazing,
girls.
isn't it? You don't even teach them any of that stuff,
Mm.
and they just pick up on how to maneuver around you.
There's a lot of shit that they. There's a lot of shit that they like. You just like naturally see them do, and you're like, that's like programmed.
Right.
Like there's no.
We didn't teach them that.
One thing I always say is like, there's no reason for you to be afraid of monsters. No one's ever introduced you to monsters. No one's ever told you monsters are around. Why are you afraid of your closet? Why are you afraid of going in that dark room? That's one that I keep thinking about. And people give me different answers and stuff, and then it's like
I
I
don't
almost
know.
I must
don't know
debunk
why
it in
I
my
was,
head and come back to it.
I don't know why I was scared.
I never told my daughter there's a monster anywhere. I never even told her there was a monster.
I don't think anybody told me there was a monster. I remember this book my parents got me when I was really little, and it had this monster on the front. And the whole thing of the book is, you don't have to be scared of monsters, because the monster's like a figment of your imagination. It's this whole picture book story thing. And it had my name in it, so it was a script. It was a special book. The parents, I think,
okay.
probably the monster book. It says my name. Hey, Scott. You don't have to, By the way, my name's Scotty. It's not Scott. I mean, technically, but I go by Scotty. So anyway, just saying. I got a little touchy about that. Well, don't you hate it when you introduce yourself you introduce yourself to somebody and you're like, "Hi, my name's Scotty," and they go, "Hey, Scott," and I'm like, "No, motherfucker, my name is Scotty, because if my name was Scott, I would have fucking said Scott." Now you can't do that in public because it's unacceptable to be a dick. But I'm gonna tell you what, sometimes it's hard to not cock off like that to people when they do that. I feel like it's so disrespectful. I pay very close attention when somebody says their name. If somebody says, "Hi, my name's Nathaniel," you know what I call him the rest of the day? Nathaniel. I don't call him Nathan or Nath. I don't take like, I don't just, throw somebody's name away. I think it's bullshit.
I'd be thinking a lot of shit like that in my head. I just try
Sorry.
to contain it these days.
But anyway, the monster thing, I don't know. But I remember reading that book, and I remember thinking, bullshit, there's monsters under my bed. And I'll tell you what, to this day, as a grown man, I can't stick my toes out from under the covers. I tried last night because I was hot, and Josie was hot. I wake up, there's a pug panting next to me. I got up and turned the fan on. I thought, I'll stick my toe out from under it. Nope, can't, nope. Something's going to grab it.
That's funny. Man.
Isn't it weird? It
Yeah.
is. But I will say another reason that's kind of tormenting to me is I went to church with this girl. And I believe this girl, okay? I do. She was very, if she was fucking with me, she was good at it. She lived in a haunted house. She had 2 sisters, and all of them had the same story. Like
Wait,
they
hold up real
stuck.
quick. Can I pee and then come back?
Okay, we peed. We're back. Oh. Dude, I didn't realize I had to pee that bad.
Dude, I had to go so bad. I was holding it for so long.
So this girl that I went to church with, she lived in a haunted house, and I was always, I used to be kind of fascinated with that stuff. I'm not now. Like I don't watch those paranormal shows and stuff. Some of them are all right, but most of them are just it's bullshit. It's just like, what was that? Oh, I don't know. Somebody was in that dark area and threw a pebble. That's what it was. But some of the stuff they show is wild, you know. And then you just gotta, you're like, well, is it doctor? Did somebody, you know, that's an effect. Who knows? Do I believe that stuff's out there? Yeah. I think there's some weird shit floating around. There's got to be. There's got to be some spirits stuck in these places. There's too much weird stuff that happens that you hear people talk about. Dude, this city is haunted.
This is my mom's realm.
Dude, you go to Ybor City. Ooh. Dude, Tampa Theater. I'll tell you right now. I spent 2 nights in that thing, and it's haunted. 100%. I freaking felt so uncomfortable in those old corridors. Back there by myself. You never felt alone. You felt like there were 30 people on top of you.
What's that place in Terra Verde? That pink building?
Oh.
Don Cesar.
Don Cesar. They say there's some crazy shit in there. And what was the other place they said was really haunted?
In Bel Air?
Yeah.
Biltmore? Bellevue, Biltmore?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Now-
mom's all about this shit.
She loves
You
that stuff?
gotta talk to her about it, yeah.
Well, I know your mom's into that stuff, and I know your mom's a lot like me as far as like the way she picks up on vibes and like empath and all that stuff. She's awesome. But like I'm not a nerd with ghosts or anything, but I just remember this girl I went to church with. She was a little bit older than me, and we got to talking about it. She said, "Yeah," she goes, "My house is haunted." She goes, "Weird stuff happens." She goes, "The ghost isn't mean." I go, "Well, is it one or do you?" She goes, "I don't know." She's like, "But listen to this shit." She said they had a big jar of pennies, like just a big mason jar, those great big oversized mason jars full of pennies, up on a desk in the attic, which was her room. She had the attic room, which is a big thing out where I'm from. That's what you shoot for. You want to get an attic room, It's got the ceiling where you got to duck to get into bed, that kind of shit.
Ain't nothing comfortable.
Yeah, when you're little, you're like, this is the shit. And then as you're 18, you set up real quick in bed and hit your head.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? I'm outgrowing my little nook. But anyway, she said they were all down in the living room one night, and boom, there's a thud. They go upstairs. The freaking jar sitting in the center of the room. It was moved from the desk to the center of the room. They were the only people in the house. Now, if that's me now, like as a kid, I heard that. I was like, oh my God. If that's me now, I'm checking crawl spaces, okay? I'm going in with a friggin' stun gun and some sort of, I don't know, hypodermic needle with some sort of like, I'm going to put your ass to sleep because somebody's crawling around in my house. Now, if I don't find that, then I'm leaving because that doesn't make sense. That's crazy. But she said that would happen. What else did she say? Oh, it would turn the dryer on and off. It would turn the washer on and off. Shit like that. It would stop the microwave. Wild stuff. Like, never anything vicious, never anything mean, but just playful. But the one that stuck with me, and I think this is why I still can't put a toe out from under the bed. I swear to you. She said, Scotty, and I remember when she said this, how serious she looked. She just said, I was in the bathtub one night. And she goes, I was soaking in a bubble bath. She goes, and I had my hand hanging over the edge of the tub, just relaxing, like, and something grabbed her finger and squeezed.
What the fuck?
And she said exactly what she said. And she said she come up out of that bathtub like you wouldn't believe. Like she walked on water. She went from laying down to like feet on the ground like that. And she goes, I looked at my finger and she goes, it was like, wasn't like something just grabbed a hold of it. Like it grabbed it like, you know how when you squeeze your finger like that and you hold it really tight and then you let go of it and it's white and then the blood has to run back into it? She said that's what it looked like.
Maybe you had a crush on her.
Huh?
Maybe you had a crush on her.
Maybe. But then, now, see, that is when I'm leaving the property. I'm not sticking around. That's just stupid. You grab me, and there ain't nobody else in that house, and I get grabbed by the house. I'm leaving the house.
Get the crap out of the house.
You know what I'm saying? I'm leaving the house.
What if it follows you?
You know, I saw those stories, too, where those freaking things follow people. I don't know about that. I remember that Amityville Horror House. I always remember that as a kid. The original Amityville Horror House.
Mm-hmm.
Horror House. When they did the movie about and when the walls bled and shit, you know, and it was who did the remake? Damn it, Homeboy just bought the soccer team. Phillips. Jeez. You got me thinking about 4,000 calorie diets, and I'm thinking Phelps. And it's not Phelps or Phillips. It's the freaking actor, Ryan Reynolds. Damn it. I was like the guy that bought the soccer team, Van Wilder. Yeah, that guy. He did the remake of Amityville Horror.
Mr. Mint Mobile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dude, Mr. freaking just
killing it.
How much money can you make? Reynolds, dude. I still think he's the closest thing that Chevy Chase will ever have, as far as like his style. Like when he does that Van Wilder movie, I really feel like he channeled Chevy Chase in that movie a little bit. Like just his mannerisms.
He killed it in Deadpool. He was a good Deadpool.
He's good.
Yeah,
he's good anyway. Did you ever see that movie Buried? He was in.
Yes.
Dude.
Fuck
Dude.
Fuck that.
Nightmare scenario. That's it. 100% for me. 100%.
I know. I almost don't want to put the spoiler out there, but fuck. The ending is rough. What a U-turn that took.
Sorry. Yeah, but that movie. Oof. But anyway, dude, I almost couldn't finish it because I couldn't get. I started because I'm watching it in a dark room, right? And it's just the TV, and I'm home by myself, and I'm just in that scene with him, and he's. So anyway, but yeah, the ghost thing. I don't know. I know I had a neighbor who actually, my neighbor growing up, my mom's best friend growing up, when I was a kid, Brenda. She just passed away last year, or earlier this year. Wait, no, I'm sorry. It's almost. Gosh, it's amazing how time flies. Yeah. It's almost been 2 years. It might have been almost 2 years this month. And, man. Anyway, she was my mom's best friend. She was awesome. But right across the street from us, her and her daughter, Shelly, and my sister's best friend growing up, Misty. And, my sister passed away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Misty was her best friend. So, like, I've known these people my whole life, like, since I was just, can remember. Brenda told me, when I was an adult, like later on, I always went over and visited her because it was like anytime I go home to visit, I lost my mom when I was 18. Well, just getting ready to be I was a senior in high school when I lost my mom. So Brenda was kind of like the closest like connection to mom. So anytime I was home, dude, anytime I made it a point to walk across the street at least a couple times and just sit over there and drink coffee. And watch freaking stories or whatever with Brenda. And she, she was awesome. And we catch up and cackle. And she would just tell me how proud my mom would have been and all this stuff. It was just great, But she told me one night, she's like, something we were just talking. And, I know what it was. There was one of those stupid, it was one of those, there was a scary movie or something advertised. I remember that. And I go, oh, it's creepy. She goes, I got my own creep show in this place. And I said, excuse me? I've never heard Brenda say anything like that before. What do you mean? And she goes, well, Scotty, you know this place is haunted, right? I set my coffee down. I was like, what? She goes, we were in the basement. All of a sudden, when she started talking about this, basement got cold. Like noticeably changed.
That's what a lot of people say.
Noticeably. It was fucking weird. And I remember because it was winter. It was at Christmas time. I was home, but there was a fire in the basement, in the fireplace. It was toasty as hell. She starts talking about this. Temperature drops noticeably in a room that was just toasty. And I was like, that's fucking weird. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. And she goes, oh yeah. She goes, you notice that? She's like, not dangerous. She's like, but I have a little pioneer girl that lives here in the basement. And I said, dude, you got to understand, this is a woman that is, I mean, I know this woman. And when she said a little pioneer girl, I'm all in. I'm like, you mean with a bonnet and stuff like that? She's like, yes. Like Little House on the Prairie. You remember that old ass show from way back? Laura Ingalls and little ponytail or pigtails and shit. And she said occasionally, she goes, and ask the girls. They've all seen her. So all the girls know, they all knew they were living in a ghost house. Nobody ever said this shit. Because you don't say this stuff on your street where I grew up. I mean, everybody in the place, everybody in the neighborhood think you're batshit, you know?
Right.
They live in a creepy house.
You know? What are they doing over there? You know? But those girls are like, oh yeah. They're like, we'll come down to be getting ready for school. And they said, we'll go down. That's where the laundry room was. They'll be down there, you know, flip on you know how it is. You flip the stair lights on. You go down.
Yeah.
You flip on the living room light. Or you flip on the washing room light. You don't flip on the living room light. She's like, everything's dark back there. She's like, so you're in there and you know that you've seen this thing before. You know, but you forget. She's like getting a shirt ready for school and you turn and all of a sudden from behind the corner of a wall, you see a little face go, and then pop back in. And I was like, what?
Fuck that.
That's when I was like, you're shitting me. And these are people I know, like 100%. And Misty, my sister's best friend, her older sister, and her mother all were sitting there and all went like this. Yep, that's exactly like she does that. She giggles. We're like, what the I couldn't believe it. And I asked my dad, I'm like, why didn't you ever tell me that Brenda's house was haunted? He's like, well, she said there's some, my dad, Mr. Dismissive. She said there's some, I don't know, little girl or something from back in, you know, Western times. Or, you know, my dad. I mean, you can just tell he's like, yeah, this is a bunch of bullshit. That's what that translates to.
Right.
In my dad speak. Anytime he gets in that tone, it's like, I'm tuning out. You're full of shit. And she swore until the day she died that was true. And they swore up and down that. And they say, matter of fact, last time I saw Shelly, I said, you still got that little girl living in your basement? And she laughed. She goes, she's still there. And there's still people in that house Brenda's, I think, passed away 2 years ago. I don't know if Shelly moved in there or not.
I wonder if she's hanging out with her.
I don't know. I'll tell you what, next time I go home, I'll make it a point to talk to her to see.
Yeah.
I'll hit her up on Facebook. She'll tell me.
Some levels to that shit.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, you know. Yeah. Hey, you know who I found out I didn't know he was into paranormal shit. You know Matt Rife, the stand-up comic?
Mm-hmm.
You ever see his stuff? He's good.
Some of it.
I like him a lot. I like him a lot as far as like younger guys out there. I think he's good. He's got I don't know. I like his style. But anyway, he's huge into paranormal. Loves it. Like, wants to do a paranormal show and all that shit. Here's the thing.
I could see that.
I may get into paranormal shit if you can take me somewhere and be like, I can absolutely go, yes.
But you gotta go all in. I feel like you can't pussyfoot around. Because if you see some shit, you're in. Like you're.
Who, me?
You gotta adapt.
Oh, God. Could you
gotta
imagine?
adapt.
Bro, you know what would happen, right? If I get into that shit, don't please, as a friend, don't ever let me get into that shit. Because, you know, I'll have a fucking Ghostbusters mobile like by fucking this time next week if I get into that shit. You know me.
Yeah.
I'm going all in, you know.
You and my mom should just go get cameras. And my mom's got some of the shit to even read.
Ooh, does she got the EVP stuff? Or the like the Ghostbusters?
I don't know what it's all called. I don't know. She's got instruments. Let's just put it that way.
Is she into EVP? You know what that is?
No.
EVP is
Oh, electrical.
you record static and you sit in a room and listen to static for hours at a time until
I wouldn't be surprised.
until your brain gets fried out and you hear, and you're like, oh my God. And then they translate it on the screen and it just goes, and on the screen it goes,
My mom wants to smoke. That's for
Just
sure.
says A. Right? He goes, A. And it goes, oh my God. And then, shh, you should get off your ass and get out of the house. You've been sitting in a dark room staring at a screen going, shh, for 3 days. Of course you're hearing shit.
5 push-ups to continue.
Drink some fucking water and eat something. Maybe the voices will calm down.
5 burpees.
You're losing your
Just to get it full
Hey,
circle.
speaking of which, EVP, great fucking movie. I love it. I don't know. People have made fun of me for liking this movie, but I think it's good. Michael Keaton did a movie called White Noise. You ever seen it? Do yourself a favor. Fucking watch it. It's one of the freakiest Michael Keaton movies I've seen because it is all about that world of people that get obsessed and into EVP stuff. And there are a lot of people, I'm sure, listening to this, and there's a lot of people out there that are into that stuff. And I'm going to tell you what, if you go on YouTube and put in EVP, you're going to hear some cool shit. You're going to hear some stuff. You're like, oh my God. But it's like the power of suggestion. Have you ever seen those guys? There was a clip floating around on, there was a one floating around on Instagram where the guy was like, it was, I believe they were over in Dublin, and he was like, they were playing soccer chants, and he was saying, okay, you've heard this chant? Yep. Okay, well, does it sound like this? And he would say a word, he would say a phrase, and then play the chant, and it sounded exactly like that. Then he'd say another phrase, play that same chant, sound exactly every single time, because he matched up the
Okay.
and then he found the words in the match. And then he would say them, and it was power of suggestion. You heard that, and then they did it, and you're like, that's it. Well, they say it's like that with, you know, it's a lot of that shit. Like, you know, you sit there and you just go mind numb. But in the movie, Keaton gets obsessed with this shit. And then, you know, obviously in the movie, he's finding out like real stuff, and he starts getting into this. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I was like, I mean, obviously it's a movie and it's like science fiction and shit, but I could see how somebody could be as obsessed as he becomes about this shit. I mean, he literally starts this as a stupid hobby. And like, dude, within like 2 weeks, like first time he hears something, that was it. He's dropping his kid off at his wife's house so he can fucking spend more time listening to Static.
You here for the bath mats?
Yeah. Yeah, the bath mats.
Dude, I got $1 million idea real quick.
Okay.
Well, for you know who Mike Perry is? Or not Mike Perry. Yeah, Mike Perry. Sorry. Bare knuckle boxer.
Yeah.
Put him on a fucking paranormal activity show. See how he reacts to some ghost shit. That guy would be funny as hell. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast talking about punching aliens. Oh, they better come correct. They come in my backyard. I'll punch alien in the face.
Dude, anybody that says the actual sentence, they better not come in my backyard. I'll punch an alien in the face. And he's talking about extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
That fucking guy, bro. That would be so entertaining to watch him deal with some paranormal activity, dude.
I don't know, man.
I'm all in.
I think I would. I don't know. I think I'm too much of a wuss. I think I would just lose it. I think I would lose it because, you know, that's one of the reasons we used to have this. I'll end with this story because we got to wrap. We have this attraction where I grew up. It's like a old prison, and they open it for Halloween and stuff. They do this everywhere, but the one that there's a couple of them in my hometown, and the one over in Ohio is really creepy because it's it's a wackadoodle fucking prison. It was, you know, all the psychotic,
yeah.
you know, all the crazies like way back. This place has been closed for years. So when you pull up on it, you're like, ugh. And they do these tours every year, and they put people in the cells and shit, right? And they tell these stories, and they, you know, they hear stuff. And,
Sounds familiar.
yeah, well, they started to sweeten the pot. I talked to some friends of mine that went out there, and they actually plant somebody in that cell, and you don't know they're in there. And they put you in the cell single. So they put one person in a cell, shut the door. Put the other person in a cell, slam the door on you. And that's how the tour starts. Well, you don't know that in every one of those cells, there's somebody in the dark corner of that cell that you don't know is in there. And see, that right there, if that happened to me, and I would piss my pants. Well, either that or I'd fuck him up. Because if I'm in a jail
Fight
cell,
or flight better be correct.
bro, I was going to say, if I'm in a jail cell and nobody's told me this is going to happen, I'm just here to have fun with my family on Halloween. And of course, like some of those places, you gotta wear the little necklace where it's okay if they touch you and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, they said this one is just kind of like you sign the waiver and you go in, but the guy sneaks up on everybody from behind, and and what sucks is if you take a swing and you're not expected, they kick you out. Obviously to protect those people. But yeah, could you imagine? So I would have pissed my pants in that situation. I couldn't imagine if it was a real ghost. I mean, no way.
That's like, yeah, I don't know. I just will try to avoid those situations.
Oh my God, if I'm in a freaking jail cell and somebody walks up behind me and I didn't know anybody else was in there, dude, what would you do? You'd shit. Oh my God.
I'd probably convince myself.
I'd throw elbows. First thing. I know me. I'd spin. This way.
Just pretend like you want the smoke.
Yeah.
Try to out crazy that bitch and get the fuck out of there.
Where's my smoke, man?
Yeah, there's a reason why I ain't showing your fucking face.
Hey, this ain't funny, man. You put somebody in this cell with me. This is a bunch of bullshit. I don't know what you're talking about, man. There's nobody else in this cell. Oh, this is fucked up. You imagine? That'd suck. All right. You ready to get out of here?
Yeah, man. I appreciate your time.
Dude, come on. Anytime, buddy. I love you to death. You know that.
Love you too, man. I hope you enjoyed yourself today.
I did. This is fun. I just love getting together and talking
Charity.
with you. All good. All right, buddy. All right. That's it, guys. See you.
I think the podcast is fucking sick. If you're listening to it and you're like, I don't know if I want to listen to the next episode of this podcast, you're probably a bitch ass. You need to listen to the next episode of this podcast and keep listening to it. Because my friends down here are trying to make shit happen. And we're going to make some shit happen.